both boats at full speed. It's neck and neck. These boats locked together. He cannot believe what has happened. No room! Pulls the spray, barreling down the line.
Says they're coming on the inside. Bark out, burying the bow. I think there's contact between the rack and the pole.
The world's best match racers have traveled from all over the globe to descend upon St. Petersburg, Russia for the fourth stop on the 2017 World Match Racing Tour. Welcome to Match Cup Russia, set on the picturesque waters of the Neva River. This is the first time a World Tour event has ever taken place in Russia. Steeped in history and tradition, St. Petersburg presents the fleet with both spectacular and a challenging race course, perfect for the top level of match race sailing. Hi, I'm your host, Tucker Thompson, along with Scott Dixon, and this is day number 5 of the competition here in St. Petersburg. And Scott, this race course here on the river has been tricky and challenging.
Yeah, thanks, Tucker. Today started out with a brisk westerly breeze, more in line with the current here on the Neva River. Because of the direction, the pressure was more reliable until a really heavy rain squall came through and certainly mixed things up. From then on, the breeze seemed more random and definitely increased the opportunities for passing, which led to some incredibly exciting racing.
Well, today, hopefully, because of that shift in wind direction, will give us some more stable races. But here's a look at how yesterday's light air racing went down. It's day number 4 of Match Cup Russia, and the fleet of M32 catamarans were moved overnight downtown here to the city center in St. Petersburg. Racing this afternoon was light and challenging, but nonetheless exciting as the Super 16 qualifying round concluded and determined the top 8 quarterfinalists. Current world champion Phil Robertson started out the day 2-0 behind Stephen Thomas, but somehow he found a way to come back and win the next 3 to qualify. And Netherlands' Peter-Jan Postma was tied 1-1 against Kim Kling, and in the last race, Kling was ahead. Somehow Postma found a way to catch up and win the match. Perhaps some of the most exciting matches of the day were between Jonas Warrer and Nicholas Dockheimer. Dockheimer won the first match, and somehow Jonas Warrer found a way to come from behind not once, but twice to go on and win for the qualifying. Overall, the light and shifty conditions and strong current proved challenging for the entire fleet, but in the end, we have our 8 top quarterfinalists. And they are Jan Gichard, Sam Gilmore, Mons Holmberg, Matt Jerwood, Ian Williams, Jonas Warrer, Phil Robertson, and Peter-Jan Postma.
As we can see, Tucker, it was an interesting day yesterday, as you found out from the teams themselves on the beach this morning.
You're right. I had a dock walk this morning, Scotty, with the teams down on the water, trying to find out which ones had been here before. Here we are back at Match Cup Russia. We're downtown in the heart of St. Petersburg, and just look at all the history that surrounds this race course. You have to wonder if the sailors take that in. There's all these apartment buildings that go back hundreds of years. Of course, the Winter Palace here, the Peter and Paul Fortress, and what that does is compress the race course here on the Neva River. It creates havoc for the tacticians. The shifts are very hard to pick out because you can't see them, and there's lots of current on the river. So local knowledge becomes a huge factor. I'm sure some of these sailors have sailed here before. Let's see who's got the local knowledge. Here's Jan Gichard. Hello, Jan. Bonjour.
Morning.
How are you, my friend?
Yeah, good, thank you.
Now, you've sailed here before, right?
Just yesterday, yeah.
That's it?
That's it.
How important do you think having local knowledge here in a tricky place like this would be?
Yeah, it's so important to... It's going to be a really difficult race, a really tight race for sure, because it's really narrow and there is a lot of current and it will be patchy on the racing area, so it's going to be really challenging for everybody. Yeah.
And the buildings here, they're beautiful, but they create a lot of wind shifts that you can't see.
Yes, yes. The building is so beautiful. The place is such a great place, a great spot for sailing, but it's going to be with the building, it's going to be really challenging. Yes.
Try not to think of all that beauty and history. Keep your eyes on the race course. Bon chance.
Thank you.
All right, someone else has got to have sailed here before, right? Let's go down to Matt Sherwood. Hello, Matt. You've sailed here before, right?
No, never here in St. Petersburg, not in the middle.
2 for 2, we've struck out. How important do you think local knowledge would be if you had sailed here before?
It wouldn't hurt. I think if you could know where the current was a little less, or maybe it's doing some funny things, or where the wind funnels between the buildings, I think that'd be pretty useful. But you know, we'll go out there. We'll try and figure it out.
Have you figured out any tricks so far?
It just looked really tricky yesterday. I think just trying to still minimise your manoeuvres in the current and try and sail in the wind is always good in these boats. So yeah, not overcomplicating it.
Keep it simple.
Keep it simple, stupid.
I like it. You brought up the stupid part. All right, let's go to Australia. Sam, come on over here real quick. We're talking about the venue, the tight race course, the shifts, and the current. You've sailed here before, right?
Yesterday, yeah. I guess that's a bit of experience, but no, it's going to be a fun race course. I think this wind direction is pretty nice. You know, it's straight down the waterway, so
As opposed to
yesterday, which was straight across. So it was really tricky yesterday, but I don't know. I think still a lot of snakes and ladders around the race course. And it's going to be a lot of fun.
So basically, you've got a lot of local knowledge, 1 day's worth, right?
Yeah, that's just enough. That's all you need, right?
All right, good luck. And finally, let's try Mons Holmberg. We've got to find somebody who's raced here before. Hello, Mons. Hello. You've raced here before, right?
No.
Struck out 4 for 4. So, based on the fact that every one of you guys has only had 1 day's experience, what do you think about the race course, the tricky conditions, the shifts that come through the buildings, particularly the ones you can't see, and the current?
Yeah, I think that's going to play out to be a really exciting day because no one has sailed here before, so whatever can happen today.
Do you like the venue? Do you ever take in this beautiful scenery while you're racing?
Yeah, between the races we take a look, but I mean, it's a race. I think we just try to focus on the racing, but yeah, it's fantastic here in here, and today is a bit better wind direction as well, so it's going to be great.
Well, good. So all 4 of these skippers all have local knowledge now, collectively, only 1 day. By the end of the week, one of you guys will be standing on the podium. We hope it's you?
Yes.
All right, good luck here in beautiful St. Petersburg.
Thank you.
And so far, we've had racing taking place this morning. Jan Guichard went down to Sam Gilmore, 3-1. He won the first match and never came back in it again. It was a lot closer between Mons Holmberg and Matt Sherwood. Sherwood took the matches 3-2. This afternoon, we're going to take a look at Robertson, Pulsma, and Williams, and whoever he was sailing in that last graphic, Jonas Wurr. But anyway, here we are live out on the Neva River, and we're under a short delay waiting for the racing to begin. And while we are, we're going to relive a little bit of racing from yesterday. Phil Robertson, Stephen Thomas. It was a best of 3. The score was 2-2, match point for both. This was the deciding race.
It's first blood to Phil Robertson as he accelerates across the starting line towards the first mark.
Beautiful job for Phil Robertson and the China One Ningbo team closing out Stephen Thomas. He was down 2-0 to Thomas yesterday. He won 1 race, and now he is flying a haul into mark number 1, leading this final race so far. If he can keep this up, he'll move on. Stephen Thomas looking to get back in the match, but have a look at that breeze, some of the fastest boat speed we've seen this afternoon. And it's Phil Robertson leading into mark 1. As Phil Robertson rounds the leeward gate, heads up to the left-hand side in the lead.
As Thomas rounds the right-hand gate, he's bow forward on this right side. Is he able to get some pressure and accelerate? No, it's Phil Robertson accelerating, flying a hole. He just seems to be getting those magic puffs when he needs them, Tucker.
Oh, Thomas just parks up there in the tack, Scott, as Phil Robertson just keeps his momentum and his boat speed. Here comes Thomas, though, finally getting up to pace.
So look at that, Thomas just starting to fly a hole there, and Robertson certainly losing a lot of speed in that tack, but as long as he's able to accelerate, and now he's looking good. He's approaching the left-hand top mark for the final time, and it looks like Thomas is going to have to tack one more time to go through to the gate. It's Phil Robertson around the top mark with a healthy lead over Steve Thomas. So it looks like a very slow jibe there from Robertson, but you can see Thomas at the top of the picture going nowhere fast. And again, like you keep saying, Tucker, it looks slow, but Robertson still moving.
Yeah,
so
somehow
important.
Picking his way through a challenging minefield of puffs here on the Never River in St. Petersburg, and that was the last turning mark before the finish. Phil Robertson's race to lose as he looks to seal the deal over Stephen Thomas. And then there it is again, Scotty. Phil Robertson's private puff takes him right to the finish line, just to windward of the Peter and Paul Fortress here in St. Petersburg. That's the finish line to the far right of the screen, the white and black checkered mark.
Great puff on Phil Robertson right now. Just smoking down this last reaching leg. And there he is across the finish line. He finally did it. Came from 2-0 down. It's Phil Robertson winning 3-2 over Steve Thomas of Australia.
And that seals the China 1 Ningbo team moving on into the quarterfinals.
We're pretty stoked, but yeah, Stevie put up a pretty good fight, and I think a bit of credit to my boys as well for coming back, being 2-0 down to come back and winning that one. So I think we're a bit more relieved than anything, and yeah, we've sailed on this river a few times and know what it's like, and speed is definitely your friend, so we're trying to keep her in the puffs pretty much as we could today.
There's a man you can't keep down. Phil Robertson. There's a reason that he's won a world championship last year and every M32 regatta of the season here on the tour in 2017. Scotty, we're about to see Phil Robertson race again, but first, we're under a short delay.
Yeah, great sailing by Phil and his team. Like we said 2 days ago, we had incredibly challenging conditions in a very different venue. Steep waves, big breeze, gusts over 25 knots. And then yesterday we were relocated to downtown St. Petersburg, where it was light, shifty, massive current. And again, Phil Robertson giving full credit to his team, just to, you know, with their backs against the wall, they always seem to come out fighting, and the skippers obviously have to do their part. But we cannot emphasize enough how tricky this racetrack is in beautiful downtown St. Petersburg.
You're right about that. You know, it was interesting watching Phil Robertson when we were at the other venue in Big Breeze. He lost his first 2 matches in a first to win 3, so up against it. And then here in the light conditions, he came back and won 3 in a row. And we've got more of that type of sailing today. Phil Robertson's actually going to face Peter-Jan Postma. Now, he had to outsail Kim Kling yesterday in the light and fluky conditions. And you know what? It came down to match point. In the last race, Kling was ahead. Let's take a look at how it went down. Scotty, the 2-minute mark coming up. It is Kling to windward. Peter-Jan Postma with his Jenniker out to leeward. Here's the 2-minute signal.
So what we've seen so far, Tucker, with the exception of one race, it's all about who controls the leeward ground, and therefore the ability to accelerate. And I think Ian Williams is possibly the only team that maybe took it a little further than they intended. But it's Kling who has jibed early and trying to force Postma to burn up some of that leeward racetrack. I think that's Kling in control there, isn't it? Forcing his opponent to tack. So that's going to be an expensive maneuver for Postma.
Oh, that's interesting.
And they're that far above the line that he had to jibe around. Yeah, that is interesting.
You would have thought he would have tacked back for the line, but he's jibed
I guess he just figured that jibing was a less expensive maneuver than tacking twice. Let's see how it works out for him. 2, 1, and
wow.
Excellent. And there it is. That's why he did it. Great start to Postma. He looked like he was in a very dire position with about 15 seconds to go, but got the puff, put the bow down, and accelerates away to an early lead over Kling.
Wow.
So there you see the lead really getting gobbled up by Kling coming from astern. It's Postma rounding the left mark. Kling electing to jibe one more time. So he'll have some nice leverage on this right-hand side of the racetrack.
And Postma tacking immediately to stay with Kling. I don't know.
Kling starting to accelerate. This is going to be close. No, and there's the duck. So it's lead change. It's Kling in the lead, flying a hole. Postma ducking.
Very challenging conditions for both teams. Nothing in it. Neck and neck between both of them. And now it could be bow to bow again. Starboard tack advantage under the rules will go to PJ Postma.
Yeah, that was looking good for Postma there, but unfortunately it was a left-hand shift, but look at how he's closed up. He can't go in there because that's Kling's mark to own, and Kling tacks and really parks up. Is Postma going to be able to cruise around the top? He thinks he can. He's putting his bow down, lead change, and that's Kling, lost steerage, so another lead change. It's Postma over the top, fills his Jenica.
What a move by PJ Postma. Kling had the inside. He went to tack and then luff PJ Postma up. Postma had enough momentum to go all the way around the top, and then Kling got stuck, lost steerage, and is only now re-accelerating 4 to 5 lengths behind PJ Postma, who heads downwind out in front. Postma having jibed for the leeward gate, the final turn. There it is for the sprint to the finish. He definitely had to fight for it.
So
nice job.
Postma will be very happy with that result indeed, won't he? But man, it came down to that last windward mark. There he goes across the finish line to take it 2-1. It's PJ Postma over Kling.
So here we are again live out in St. Petersburg. Let's take a look at the scores. Once again, Gilmore and Jerwood are through, and this afternoon we are going to decide live whether Ian Williams and Jonas Warrer, Phil Robertson, or PJ Postma will move on. Racing set to begin in just a few moments. So, Scotty, we've just received word that the next match we're going to see is going to be Ian Williams against Jonas Warrer in a first to win 3 matches, best of 5. And there's the 4-minute signal.
Yeah, beautiful conditions here, Tucker, on the Riva River, and if you, I'm sure everybody's seeing the same sights that we are, but it's great to see the boats in the foreground. But every single frame, every direction we look in this incredible city, the backdrops are just absolutely stunning. You can see the gold spires in the background, the water glistening with the sun. We're pleased to see our friend the sun today. We've had our fair share of torrential rain. I know it might be hard to believe looking at the pictures now, but some incredibly heavy downpours earlier in the day.
Definitely. You know, the weather here is so unpredictable, it could probably downpour quite a lot again here in St. Petersburg, known for its rain more than its sun. But here, Scotty, we've got the skies opening up for the start of the Ian Williams-Jonas Warrer match. Now, we're 1 minute away from the 2-minute entry period, and that's Warrer in the, what color boat is that? The graphic says orange, so we're going to go with it. Warrer's going to be in the orange boat, and Ian Williams is going to be in the light blue boat in the background of the shot there, and I'm not sure whether Warrer is going to be in either black or orange, but we're going to give you an update in just a few seconds on that. Either way, Scotty, 30 seconds to go to the entry. Now, Warrer's got a lot of work to do. Ian Williams, a 6-time world champion.
Yeah, plenty of work for Williams ahead of him here, or both teams really. It's going to be wonderful conditions here.
Warrer in light blue and Williams in black, that's what I have.
So, yeah, we're just updating the graphics here. We believe it's Williams that we're looking at right now in the black M32 hull. And there's the entry signal. And that's Warra to windward in the Albert Real boat. So there we go. It's Warra diving down behind Williams.
In light blue.
Williams going for the low ground.
Minute 38 seconds to go. Williams leading into the first maneuver. There'll be a jibe at the exclusion zone just off of the Peter and Paul Fortress. And if it looks close to the shoreline, it is just about 20 meters from running aground here. And the fans are getting treated to quite a show. The minute and 20 mark, Williams is very early, and he's hit the brakes.
Yeah, so you can see Warra came charging in there with a lot of speed. And the reason Williams is positioning himself there is so that Warra cannot go between him and the obstructions. So this is the down speed game that they play, and it looks maybe a bit slow, a bit boring, but man, to control the boats in this down speed mode, they don't want them to suddenly accelerate, and that's very, very difficult to do. 48 seconds to go now, and Warra getting quite a bit close, only about 5 feet between them. Warra's got a bit of speed on, so I think he's going to try and go over the top here.
Williams is going to luff up, try and hook him away from the line, and Williams is so close to the line, he can't bear away.
Collision, big collision. So that's got to be a penalty one way or the other. Williams put his bow up. I thought he was swinging clear astern, but that was an aggressive luff by Williams. So let's see how this one goes. Williams is in a great position here to win the start either way. 14 seconds. I think Warra's going to struggle to get a start in here. What's going to happen? 5 seconds to go. Here we go. Warra, he must be pinned out. There's the tack, and Williams off to a flying start.
Wow.
Gets the hold going, and that's how it's done. Shut out, Warra heading the wrong way.
I mean, that is a picture-perfect match race pre-start for Ian Williams, the 6-time world champion, shutting out Jonas Warra, who not only hasn't crossed the line, they're not even pointing in the right direction. Williams already around mark number 1.
So, I mean, it looked to me, Tucker, as though there was a collision there. I didn't see any flags, didn't see anything from the umpires. So, anyway, it's Williams off to the races. And there you go, almost the entire first leg ahead.
Wow, and look at that. The breeze filling in right on cue. Unlike what we saw earlier, the light and fluky conditions have been replaced by boats that are flying downwind. Williams just perfect form as his crew sets up to furl and round the leeward marks. There, the Peter and Paul Fortress very close in the background in this compressed race course on the Neva River, but it is Ian Williams' race.
Yeah, Williams around the bottom mark now, heading upwind, heading to the right-hand side. We can see Warren's still cruising downwind here in good breeze. In the meantime, Williams tacks, and that's largely because he's very close to the exclusion boundary, so really not a lot of options for the team the teams when they round this mark closest to the shore. So Warra approaching the leeward gate now in the background, but Williams now upwind, flying a hole, looking very comfortable.
So once again, this is the quarterfinal deciders this afternoon, day number 5 of Match Cup Russia. I'm Tucker Thompson with Scotty Dixon. And you're looking at Ian Williams leading Jonas Warra by over 30 seconds on the upwind leg. And that's Williams in black, tacking from the left-hand side.
Yeah, Williams probably had a little more racetrack to play with there, but just coming over and evening things up to limit Warra's options for getting leverage or a shift. You can see Williams didn't sail very far there on port, did he? Now he's tacking back. You can see the beautiful Winter Palace in the background. Again, the backdrops to these this video, the frames are just absolutely stunning.
Like a postcard.
Yeah, a little difficult to keep focused on the racing and the buildings at the same time, but that's why we're here in beautiful St. Petersburg. A beautiful blend of the historic and the modern.
Very solid looking Ian Williams and crew on the final downwind run, and that's about as close as the boats have gotten all day on opposite legs as Williams heads downwind and Water still tacking to go upwind and round the mark. And Williams is just on fire. It's almost like he's in a completely different match.
Yeah, that was a very clean jibe, wasn't it? Very crisp. Came out, hit the angle, straight up on flying a hole, and yeah, he might be half a leg or more ahead, but it certainly looks like he means business, doesn't it, Tucker?
You know, the thing I like to look at best in these M32 sailors is which is the heel angle right there, about a foot above the water, that windward hull, and it just stays nailed at that angle, no matter the puff or the lull or whether the helm gets changed. That's the mark of a very good helmsman and very good trimmers, and about as fast as you're going to get in these conditions for the GAC Pindar team. Rounding the leeward mark again, in the lead.
Yeah, very clean by Ian Williams and his team, and as Tucker identified, you know, keeping these boats at the correct heel angle. That's obviously what you're trying to achieve with any boat, but in this race course, these conditions, again, we're largely landlocked by some pretty high buildings around here, so the breeze doesn't always mix down to the water well. So if the teams look very smooth, it means they are working very, very hard to achieve that, because the breeze is anything but steady here. There's a great shot, Ian Williams to windward as Warra rounds the far leeward gate, but it's Williams already on starboard, firmly in control of this match.
Just perfect.
There's my favorite shot there, Tucker, with the commentary tent right under the boom. So that's our little view of the racetrack, staring straight back at the camera with the Peter and Paul Fortress in the background. Just spectacular images.
There's a look at the delta between the two boats.
2, 1, tacking now.
Yeah, Williams making this look very comfortable. He's tacking for the final.
Two checkered marks and finish. Yeah, these two. Sorry.
There's Williams now on the final leg, puts his bow down and reaching towards the beach. You can see the checkered finish mark there in the background, and across the line he goes.
So Ian Williams takes first blood to Jonas Warrer in a first to win 3 matches here in the quarterfinals.
Okay.
Okay, Scotty, we thought there may have been a collision. Had there been, the umpires didn't see it. There wasn't a flag, but let's relive the moment. Here we go. Oh, yeah.
Oh, maybe not. I mean, they were right in front of us. I was caught in between. I thought it was right here, where I thought maybe...
There.
See, yeah, I mean, it looked like Williams' bow stopped, didn't it?
It did. I think it did. He stopped his helm and
it
held
could
long
have been...
enough to prove that as a leeward boat, he's giving the leeward boat room to keep clear.
Okay, so yeah, I was caught in between looking at the monitor here in front of us and looking out the window,
I was with you. It looked like a collision. It was exciting and it was fast, but clearly Williams knew exactly what he was doing. Here's a look at the scores now. Ian Williams has taken his first match to Jonas Warrer. Jerwood is already through, 3-2 over Holmberg, and Gilmore is through as well into the semifinals, having outsailed Frenchman Jan Guichard. Now we are told that Ian Williams is down on the water and is ready for an interview with us. And I think the first question we should ask Scotty is about that pre-start. And I'll let you do that. So Ian Williams, this is Tucker Thompson. Can you hear us out there?
Certainly can. Hey,
well done. I mean, that was an absolutely picture-perfect race. You guys looked like you were in a different league. I mean, completely unstoppable.
I think so much was down to the start. Obviously, we had a big lead off the start line, and there weren't a lot of options to come back. So that's going to be important in the next race. If we can get another good start, then I think that, yeah, as I say, it's going to be important.
Yeah, hi Ian, Scotty here. Great job, mate. So the pre-start with, I don't know, about 30, 40 seconds to go, Warra put his bow up and you came up. Was there a collision there, or how close were the boats?
No, there was a little bit of safety margin there, Scotty, so we were happy. We just wanted to make sure he couldn't get into the boat, but he was a little early for that, and that was what did for him, really.
Yeah, well, job well done, mate, and good luck for the next race.
Thanks, Scotty.
Pretty cool. There's not too many sports that after an athlete scores a point, you can go right onto the field and talk to him about it. That's one thing I like about sailing.
Yeah, and very interesting there, again, from our perspective, even looking at the camera replay, it looked like, well, you know, Ian Williams said there was a safety margin between the boats. I wonder what his safety margin is. It's certainly not a matter of feet, is it?
His safety margin is a lot smaller than ours, isn't it?
I'm sure it is. So
ours would be meters, his is centimeters.
Yeah, my safety margin's probably from the commentary tent here to the starting boat, I would say. But Ian Williams doing a wonderful job in the pre-start, knew exactly where he was, and yeah, just shutting Warra out at the start and really led from start to finish, didn't he?
Williams, a master class in match racing. Now let's take a look at some of the numbers from that last match, Scotty, and analyze how things went down. Start time, 1.2 seconds behind the gun was Williams. You can't get much closer than that without risking being over early. And look at Warra's time crossing the line.
Well, that's the shutout, isn't it? So start time, if the leading boat has anything less than 5 seconds and the trailing boat's anything more than 15 or 20, that's probably a shutout, and that's certainly what Williams did to Warra in that start. And then, and obviously Williams, he was flying at the start, and distance sailed. Well, that's pretty interesting. Very, very close, isn't it?
Yeah, very close. And so is the average speed within 0.2 of a knot, and so was the top speed. But there's no question about the race time. 5:42 to Williams, and a lot farther behind in 6:19 is Warra. So race number 1 goes to Ian Williams. Now those two are going to sit out as we prepare for match number 2. That's going to be Phil Robertson against Peter Jan Postma in a few minutes. And Scotty, of all the matches so far, this one I'm excited for.
Oh, absolutely, Tucker. I mean, Robertson had a hard row to hoe to get here, winning 3-2 in his matches. Took him a couple of days to do that. But Postma yesterday in the quarter-final matches, the Super 16 rather, he had some of the most incredible racing, lead changes, penalties. So, yeah, certainly PJ Postma going up against the current world champion, but I would say PJ Postma battle hardened and maybe race ready for this challenge.
I like that. I'm going to go with PJ as well, just for no other reason, Scotty, except I like him, and he's such a positive guy. He's very competitive, but in a very motivating way. In fact, I told him just this morning he could be a motivational speaker if sailing doesn't work out, because he's so uplifting and he's so outgoing, and he's on a roll. You know, he started out his first regatta in Australia 16th, and then Sweden he finished 4th. He won his qualifying round here, and now he's up against Ian Williams in the semifinals. So he is on an upward trajectory, and if he keeps it going, he can outsail Ian Williams.
Robertson.
I'm sorry, Robertson. Thank you for correcting me on that. Phil Robertson, who's the current world champion, but in this regatta, we've seen Phil lose a few races. And I don't think, when I interviewed them earlier today, you know, Robertson's always a bit cheeky and funny, but I saw a serious look in his eyes. I think he's slightly nervous about these matches.
Bill Robertson, a serious look. I'm not sure if I'm familiar with that look from Phil Robertson, but no, he certainly knows when it's game time. He works very hard to keep a relaxed, focused atmosphere on board. Well, he's always focused, I'm sure, but you know, when you tune into the communication and just the whole approach on board, they work very hard to keep it chilled, keep it relaxed, so that they can operate at their best. So we're looking at Postma right now, and the boat's just cruising around in between the race. Interesting this morning, Tucker, that we had some announcements from the race committee and even the harbour master. We've mentioned before how compressed this race area is, and one of the reasons is they must leave a channel open for the commercial vessels going up and down the river, which include high-speed ferries on hydrofoils. So if it looks like a small area on camera, it is, and it's what you may not be able to see all the time are the limiting buoys, which means that even the width of the river is pretty limited, but the race area is even smaller than that.
It is one of the shortest courses that I've seen on the match racing circuit. Add to that some of the fastest boats match racing has ever seen worldwide, and that makes for very tight action and very fast races and action-packed, compressed racing here in St. Petersburg. Now you're looking at live pictures of the signal boat with Matthias Dahlstrom, the PRO. He's decided we're going to take a short break, and that means we are as well here on the live broadcast. We'll be back in a few moments with the start of race number 1 between Phil Robertson and PJ Postma.
Welcome back to our live coverage of Match Cup Russia. Our next match is PJ Postma against Phil Robertson. I had a chance to check in with both of them just a moment ago.
Our feature match of the day has Phil Robertson against Peter-Jan Postma, but now this man's back for revenge. This man is defending his title. Do you ever stop smiling, PJ, if you lose?
Yes, I'm pretty fierce. Yeah. Ask the guys on the boat, appreciate life, but on the water, it's serious business.
You got to be loving it because that's what motivates you, and you got to be serious when it counts as well. So I think the team has a pretty good balance of switching on and off when it matters and when it doesn't. So definitely need to have a lot of laughs on board.
These guys are two of the best guys you're ever going to see, and I can't wait to see how the sparks fly on the water. Keep smiling.
Well, they might smile on shore, but game faces are on here in the match. Scotty Dixon, we are live, and we're coming up on 1 minute in the pre-start. You can see Robertson pushing in blue, Postma to the right in red.
Yes, hi. Can you hear me now? Yeah, so Tucker, I was just laughing at the before and after pictures of when we cut to those interviews. They came flying down the beach, both boats and the cats. 28 seconds to go. Yeah, they were flying before the interviews, and now they're stopped. So who is it? It's the blue boat of Robertson peeling around. Is Postma going to be able to get out of this?
Ten seconds to go. Both boats with the Jennekers out. Robertson pushing, going for the hook. Postma ahead. Is Postma going to be over? Look at Robertson's speed. Postma was very close to being early. Robertson just nailed it beautifully. He's won the start. Postma puts his bow down now and stays in check. We're overlapped, and we're headed into mark number 1, and we could see a luff. Unbelievable action. Well, Phil Robertson just spanked PJ Postma and sent him backwards. He's leading mark number 1 by about 4 boat lengths, setting up for the jibe, but don't write out Peter-Jan Postma yet. And here we go downwind. Uh-oh. Here comes PJ Postma from behind, and he could be passing.
Yeah, absolutely unbelievable, and it's Postma to windward, and he looks like he's rolled Robertson. What an incredible match. The start, I thought Robertson did an amazing job, but how well did Postma do to stay in the match? This is close, Tucker.
So just when we thought Robertson cleaned him out at the start, now Postma's ahead. Split jibes at the bottom of the track, leeward gate. Postma will head upwind to the right, barely in the lead over Phil Robertson, the world champion, who takes the left, and it is game on upwind.
Wow, great match, Tucker, isn't it? I mean, absolutely incredible. It is Postma tacking now onto starboard, and it's Phil Robertson on the left side of the course. Wow, which way is this going to go? I would say the next cross will be very interesting.
So who's going to be ahead when the two teams connect?
These guys are just going toe-to-toe, aren't they, Tucker? We said earlier that, Robertson's obviously the current world champion, but it's Postma that had a pretty hard road to get here. Also, he did a lot of racing yesterday, a lot of lead changes and very challenging conditions. So here we go. That's the call from Robertson. It's going to be a late dip, so he thinks Postma's ahead. Yeah, bow coming down on Robertson's boat. What's Postma going to do here? Is he laying the top gate? So there's the duck. It's Robertson behind, and now Robertson puts his bow up to try to get up. Man, you can hear Robertson. There was a flag. Let's see if that resulted in a penalty. Certainly Robertson was talking that Postma might have been too close there.
Can't tell right now, looking at the umpire boat up sun, what color flags are in the air.
Got to give him room here, though.
But
wow,
it's not Robertson because he's moving on in the lead. He knows that Postma's going to have inside at the zone, so he's tacked on the starboard. He's slow. Here comes Postma on port. Postma has rights to tack in there, but no more. Here comes Postma as he held too far. Will there be a penalty? Has Robertson kept clear?
So, yeah, I agree with Robertson there. Postma certainly could have tacked a lot earlier than he did. He took a lot of room, and that's what Robertson's complaining about. So there it is. It's a yellow penalty. Penalty on Postma. Just got a little too much into the situation. So now he has to drop back a couple of boat lengths.
What a massive race. Exciting so far. And this is just the first match between these two teams. And best to win, best of 5 overall.
Yeah,
man, it's exciting.
You can hear the constant communication on Robertson's boat. He's keeping his team updated and he's asking for the same. But obviously, when the pressure gets turned up, it's Robertson and his team kept pretty cool. And now the penalty gone from Postma. But I have to say, Tucker, I'm incredibly impressed with how Postma is sailing. He managed to pull that start out of the coals and stick in the race. And so now they're rounding the leeward gates. And again, Postma just not that far behind. And I think the breeze is shifty enough. This race is far from over.
Oh, it is far from over. Don't write Postma out yet. This is the left side where Postma is. That's where Phil Robertson came from in the last beat. And you can see he was ahead at the top mark. So the question now is, will Postma gain from that side? Not sure if there's any current differential, Scotty, but it looks like a right-hand shift, and that'll be advantage Phil Robertson.
Yes, I think you mentioned earlier, Tucker, that you suggested that maybe Phil Robertson's a little more serious than you've seen him previously, and I'm certainly in his voice I can hear him. You know, he's very deliberate in his communication. It's like he wants this guy to go away. I think it's almost like he can sense how dangerous Postma is. And but it's Robertson on the left, up to windward. So Postma there on the right tacks. And Robertson tacking to cover. And again, it doesn't matter which camera angle they give us, Tucker. Every direction we look in, the city is absolutely stunning.
Well, the sun is finally out, Scott, after days of rain. And it is shining on Phil Robertson right now as he leads PJ Postma to the top marks for the last time.
Wow, does it look like they've gone a little bit soft there, a little bit light? It doesn't matter because there's Phil Robertson sitting squarely on PJ Postma's breeze.
Robertson at the set. Doesn't get much better than that.
So now you can see Postma in the background there was just trying to lift up and around the mark, save himself the tack, but in the meantime, it's Phil Robertson charging away with the Jenica up. Now he goes for the furl.
And there he is. He's done it. So Phil Robertson takes one match to Postma in a first to win 3. Now, how will Postma answer that? We'll see in a few minutes, but well done, Phil Robertson. Okay, so let's take a look at the scores as they stand so far, and then we'll check back in with our feature match. So here we go. Gilmore is through to the semifinals, and so is Matt Jerwood. Ian Williams has taken his first race over Jonas Warrer, and we just saw Phil Robertson outsail PJ Postma, but he had to work for it in a first to win 3. Best of 5 quarterfinals here in Match Cup Russia. So just a few minutes, we're going to have a look at the replay of that race. So let's begin with the start. Scotty Dixon, take us through it.
Well, let's have a look here, Tucker. I was, again, impressed at Postma able to pull something out of the coals there. So we're hopefully we're going to see if the replay's ready to go. No, we're going to an interview instead.
Yep.
We're going to go live down to Phil Robertson.
Let's go down to the man himself. Phil Robertson, congratulations. What an exciting match, man. I have to, first of all, thank you because you don't let us get bored here in the commentary booth. You kept us guessing right the way around the track. What an exciting match.
Yeah, no, it was a bit of a ding-dong battle, that one. We kind of won the start with a bit of a late push and late entry and left at the last minute, but we got there in the end and obviously made the first mistake of not jiving and laying the mark. So, yeah, kept it close, kept in the match and knew we wanted right-turn bottom that first lap and had another opportunity there. So, yeah, good, exciting match.
Yeah, well done, Scotty here, Phil. Just a question. Obviously, you had an incident there at the second top mark. How relevant in the outcome to the match do you think that penalty was?
Yeah, I think it was very relevant. To be honest, the penalty doesn't hurt you that much in this style of racing. You've got to drop back 1 length behind the other boat, so it's not a big loss, but I think his mistake was not just tacking around the mark and going. He probably would have had the lead and could have got the drive in. So, yeah, probably a mistake on his part trying to push the penalty there when he didn't need to.
Okay, well, nice job, Phil, and good luck in the next race.
Nice, thanks, guys.
Phil Robertson showing us how it's done. And let's take a look at how it was done in that match, Scotty. We begin in the pre-start.
So here we go, and it was Robertson with the late push, but you can see he's safely lured. But this is where I was impressed at how Postma was able to accelerate and stay in the game. And there's Postma staying high, staying away from Robertson. So Robertson clearly slowed him up.
Wow.
And now here's the top mark incident, and you can see Postma only now tacking. He went at least, but maybe a boat length too far, and that was the penalty. So that was Robertson around the top, and as Robertson explained, it wasn't so much that Postma got penalised, but because he sailed the extra distance, that just gave Phil Robertson the lead, and he hung on there for the win. So
he certainly did. An impressive one it was. 2 more to go for Phil Robertson if he wants to move on to the semifinals. 3 more to go now for PJ Postma. And Scotty, let's analyze the statistics in that race.
Well, so let's have a look. So that says Postma actually crossed the starting line before Robertson. And look at that, dead even on the speed. So that basically tells me both teams more or less pulling the trigger, at the same time and getting up to speed, or at least the same speed very quickly. The third stat, distance sailed, and this really impresses me too. Obviously, all the teams, distance sailed around the track. They're all seeing the same breeze, the same shifts, sailing the boat in the same mode. So the fact that those two are even tells me both teams sailing these boats at their absolute potential.
There we have it.
Higher average speed for Robertson and top speeds, wow, 23 knots. Unbelievable. We've had all kinds of conditions, but 23 knots tells the story, doesn't it? So awesome statistics, a great summary of fantastic racing.
And the story was Phil Robertson. And now we're going to wait a few minutes and prepare for the start of Ian Williams against Jonas Warrer. The score is currently Williams 1-0 in a first-to-win-3 match series here in the quarterfinals. That's Matthias Dahlstrom, the PRO. And whoever that is lying on top of the committee boat, Scotty, I'm not sure who it is, but you can just see how hard, how stressful a job it is on the signal boat running these match race regattas. It has you flat on your back.
Maybe I'm going to apply for that job at the next regatta, I think. 3:15 in the afternoon.
I mean, this guy's working
a hard night.
About as hard as you can possibly get there.
So we're just in a holding pattern at the moment. We're waiting to see what the race committee is going to announce, when we might be underway with the next series of races. The next race, we're told, will be Williams-Warrer.
Well, Phil Robertson showed us how it was done in that race, but it wasn't easy for him qualifying for the semifinal or quarterfinal round, rather. Here's a look at how racing went down for him yesterday.
Obviously do or die for us. We're down 1-2 and first to 3, so Stevie's on match point and we're fighting hard just to stay alive.
We've got to take 1 race win, he's got to take 2, so hopefully that gives us the upper hand. We don't really know what to expect, and I say they probably have a better idea, but it should be exciting.
Oh, no, Blue, is he going up? Is he going over? Stalling his rudders.
Error. Wow.
Across the finish line, he finally did it. Came from 2-0 down. Phil Robertson winning 3-2 over Steve Thomas of Australia.
We're pretty stoked, but yeah, Stevie put up a pretty good fight, and I think a bit of credit to my boys as well for coming back, being 2-0 down to come back and winning that one.
Kling's starting to accelerate, but this is going to be close. No, and there's the duck. So it's lead change. It's Kling in the lead, flying a hole. Postma duck, and Kling tacks and really parks up. Is Postma going to be able to cruise around the top? He thinks he can. He's putting his bow down. Lead change, and that's Kling lost there. It's another lead change. It's Postma over the top. Phil's is Jenica. Man, it came down to that last windward mark. There he goes across the finish line to take it 2-1.
You need to keep your head cool, you need to be open, you need to react fast. And I think the team did amazingly well, and very happy to go through to the next 8.
Still under a delay here on the Neva River in St. Petersburg. We've just seen Phil Robertson wrap up his first race against Peter-Jan Postma. And we're set to see Ian Williams sail Jonas Warrer in their second match of the day. Once again, I'm Tucker Thompson, joined by Scott Dixon. We are live at Match Cup Russia, the first time a World Tour event has been hosted in the country of Russia here in Northern Europe. Ian Williams, Scott, has won not 1 world championship, not 2, not 3 or 4, 6 record world championship wins. You don't do that unless you're one of the best that has ever been in match racing.
Well, and I think important to add, Tucker, Ian was not a multi-hole sailor. I'm not sure what the numbers are, but he... I'm sure he must have won most of his world championships in the monohulls. And to make the transition, successful transition, I might add, into these high-performance catamarans just shows the caliber of his sailing and his attention to detail.
Here we are on board with Williams and crew preparing for the race. Have a listen.
No, not really. But I also don't like the tack jibe set at the top. What do you say? You don't think it has to be a jibe set?
You go to boundary probably.
Right.
If you were saying the yellow's not a jibe set, then green shouldn't have.
Yeah, right, okay, yeah. But I think yellow is a jibe set, don't we?
Yeah, I think it is, but the green is quite a lot further.
So if we're in a righty, it's a jibe set to left gate. And if we're in a lefty, it's jibe set to then right gate at the bottom, yeah?
Always a jibe set?
I think so, in what we've seen.
So right now we can hear that Ian Williams having a pre-race conversation with his team, and again, it's a very short course.
If it's an extra jibe,
they're talking about it so much,
and it's not biased.
So they're saying, if this happens, then we're going to execute Plan A, and here's Plan B, and here's C and D. So that the racing is so fast and furious, they're letting all the secrets go right here.
You have to tack instantly on that bottom gate. Right. That other one over there is the other side, surely. Well,
no.
But why is this one here? It's like it already cuts in so hard. Should confirm that.
Yeah.
Where's
Just get on the radio, ask the umpire to come in.
Williams, can we get a confirmation on the bottom yellow boundary mark?
Just tell him to come over if you can.
So he was talking about the shift at the first mark, Scotty. If it's a righty, they're going to go into the right-hand mark, I believe, downwind, and if it was a left-hand phase, they were going to set and then jibe.
into the left-hand gate, looking downwind. Already talking many moves.
Slightly dodgy spot here, okay, guys?
In advance of the match. And that is, of
Come out on
course,
starboard.
dependent upon where they're going to be with the other opponent as well.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, Tucker, they were talking about
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. It might well be a Jenica.
the top of the third leg. So, yeah, essentially halfway through the race. So that's how far ahead they plan everything. And like I was saying, attention to detail, don't leave anything to chance. And it's quite random out here. So what do you think about Ian's opponent?
Now Williams has to sail Jonas Warrer, who had some really exciting matches with Nicholas Dackhammer yesterday.
Yeah, they had a great qualifying round, didn't they? And again, it's like we were mentioning regarding Postma. So Postma's up against current world champion Phil Robertson. It's Warrer up against six-time world champion Ian Williams, but the way Warrer got here, very battle-hardened. He had some great races, close stuff. He really got down and dirty in the trenches, so he's ready to rumble. He's good to go.
Well, he had to outsail Nicholas Dackhammer, who won the first match, and then Warrer came from behind in both of the next two. In fact, his dad is here, and his dad said that he lost all 3 starts. And I think that's an interesting statistic because although he was able to come back against Dackhammer, Williams is known to be one of the best match race pre-starters in the business, and I think that could come into play here.
Oh, maybe part of Warrer's ploy is to lull Williams into a false sense of security.
Oh, I don't think he needs a false sense.
We know that's not going to happen. We've just seen Ian Williams as a smooth operator for so long that give him an inch and he'll take a mile.
I'll tell you, though, what's interesting, Scotty, about watching Ian Williams' match racing over the past over a decade is that when he's dominant, he's unstoppable, 6-time world champion. But then every now and then he comes out and gets completely slashed. In fact, Congressional Cup last year, he finished last. Let's listen in with the GAC Pindar crew and Ian Williams. Well,
I think they must have cued into the concept that we're listening in, Tucker, and they've
turned us down.
They've gone possum on us, haven't they?
Is that Garth Ellingham sleeping on the windward rail there?
Oh, maybe he's applying for that race committee job also in the next regatta. Yeah, hi Garth.
Yeah, hey, there you go. What's going on here? It's almost like they can hear us.
Just ahead.
All right, here we go. Listen to Ian.
If you go extra jibe, extra tack to the next convergence, then you're going to end up in like not crossing but strong. You're going to end up having to tack and do a big dip straight out of the tack potentially. You see what I mean? If you can't cross. If you go right gate and he goes left. Well, it is before the next. No, sorry, you've done. Yeah, but you've done extra jibe. So. He's done extra. No, you've both done attack at the next convergence. Yeah. So if you end up with a marginal cross out of that, which if the gates are even sounds about because you've done extra jibe.
The umpires just to inform there are only 3 boundary marks in now on the left-hand side looking upwind. One up near the boundary at the top, one down near the course limits.
Talking about where the boundaries are on the course, and they're telling the crews to notice the 3 boundary markers, have a look, and they're pointing them out now.
So the other one is a right-hand sider, yeah. Should we go have a look?
Yeah, it's going to, these ones are right.
Yeah, they're going to go have a look.
What's that?
At the boundaries.
Yeah,
the bottom.
It's kind of fascinating to.
Well, I think he's saying the one we were looking at, and they might have moved.
Spy on them, if you will.
It's now that side.
They fly on the wall.
Come down.
So yeah, they're off to look at the boundaries so they know exactly.
The problem is, if you're ahead and you go left,
and, so relevant
and he goes right,
in this tight quarters racing.
Then you're not going. He's going to come back with a nice dip, or
we've seen
sort of.
We've seen penalties already regarding the boundaries. So as Williams carries on with his tactical suggestions, if you like, pre-race.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
My question, Scotty, is when
Did
they're
Phil go round him, or
talking about left
did
and
Phil
right,
cross
whether
him?
they're always referring to upwind, the way
So
we
it's a
do when we
strong position,
race.
but that was because it was from behind. You know what I mean?
So when they say, even though when he says when we go left gate,
If he had that.
You know, that's a really good question.
I'm not sure you've
Certainly,
got to leave out.
looking upwind, going to the top gate, it's no question. You know, you left gate is when you turn left, and right is right.
Just ease the
But
chocolate down and we'll get down there a bit quicker.
downwind, we need to find out the answer to that question.
I know that when we raced, it was always with reference to the upwind wind direction. So he was talking about going around the left gate and coming out and dipping, which would be on port. So I think he's referring to it as left and left. Either way, it's pretty fascinating to listen in on a 6-time world champion standing by to race, and so are we. We're going to be under a delay for a few minutes. We'll be back to you soon to give you an update on the next start in just a while.
Yeah, full throw, full throw. We'll go round it and then look. I thought right turn was upwind, yeah?
Yeah, by miles.
Yeah. Have they moved it, or is it just a shift? I feel like it's a bit of a lefty, personally. So, where's the next one? Okay, copy. Tacking now? Doesn't really matter, we're not going to do it. I think we'd probably rather follow to the right, wouldn't we?
I think so.
Yeah, I mean... Just look at our angle now. I'm not sure it's a jibe set. I think this breeze has come left. Is this our start or theirs? Ours. Okay.
And the ley line's going to be real deep with this angle.
Say again. Sorry, you wanted to look, yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm happy here.
It's pretty deep, but it's not. You can't lay along the start line, can you?
Not quite.
Nowhere near.
I'm saying up the shoreline.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Say again. I don't. Okay. I'm not. Okay. I don't see why we have to lead it, but I don't think it's a bad idea because if we lay down.
You go back to your matrix that we made up like a year ago. It's 115, and we have blue entry.
Copy.
My name's Tucker.
Let's just do a slow tack here, guys.
Welcome back to our live coverage here in St. Petersburg, Russia. I'm Tucker Thompson, joined by Scott Dixon, and we are about to join race number 2 between Ian Williams and Jonas Warrer. This is the quarterfinals. One will move on into the semifinals after winning 3 matches, and currently Williams has won 1. Warrer 0. This will be race number 2. 40 seconds to go to the pre-start entry period. And Scotty, it's going to be Ian Williams in the black boat. We're on board with him right here. He'll enter above the committee boat at 2 minutes on port tack, and Jonas Warrer in the light blue boat will enter below, and then we'll be into it in 23 seconds.
Well, isn't it just fantastic having this onboard footage, complete with audio? Yeah, hope, the audio is not necessarily always ideal, shall we say, but just fascinating to be able to hear the communication, how much communication there is, and exactly how clear and concise it is, the way they prepare for the races, talk about tactical options. So there's the 2-minute pre-start entry signal.
Stay on port, deploy here.
Here we go, folks. Listen to the tension on board. Williams and crew. Jenniker coming out. They're on port.
That was interesting. Okay, so Williams just saw that he dropped behind enough. So Williams, the hunter here, but Warra again going for the boundary.
How far back?
So probably expect to see them go. Oh, has Warra let him in there? He has. So Warra's going to have to be careful here. So Warra will have to start coming up to keep clear. I wonder if he's got time for a circle here. Williams almost concerned that he's too far advanced. So where are we exactly? 1 minute to go.
Big up.
Big up. Less than a minute to go.
We are going to have to attack at some point.
Williams calling for don't lock. Doesn't want to hook. He's already gone to windward.
Full speed, guys.
So Williams now to windward.
Attack, yeah? Stand by.
Setting up for attack. Williams
into a circle.
Has been doing. Okay, here we go.
Circle.
He's setting up for a circle. 32 seconds to go. I think he's got 12 seconds to kill, and he'll get this maneuver in.
We've seen this
close to the pin leg.
We've seen this as a very popular move, haven't we? So now he goes to the deploy, does the big bow down, and this is going to give him more distance and more ability to get up to speed earlier. He just said we're going to go over him. I think is he still going over?
Going to go below, okay?
Now he's going to go below.
To slow.
4, 3, 2, and there's the deploy.
Slow.
So Warra, has he lost steerage? I think he has. Where's Williams going to go? Williams kind of sticks it in there. Big collision.
Shit, we're in trouble.
So who's that going to be? I think Warra was tacking. Was there room for Williams to go in there? Let's see what the umpires say.
I heard Williams say we're in trouble.
Well, no, we can't back with this tide.
Now Warra is clearly on port. Has he wrapped the mark as well? Now Warra back on the starboard.
Big trouble. Here comes the blue flag. It is Williams getting the penalty and wrapped up on the start mark. Warra is slow, but he's out in front. He deploys the Jenniker and takes an early lead.
Disaster for Ian Williams.
Which side of this we go.
You could hear the indecision in the last 20 seconds. We're going to go above him. No, we're going to go below him. And, you know, maybe Warra just did a great job of parking next to the pin.
Yep.
And I'm not sure how wide these M32s are, but if they're, you know, 18 feet wide, maybe Warra left them 15 feet.
Yeah. No, Warra did a beautiful job. He stayed parked. I think Williams thought they were going to accelerate, open up the door a little bit, and Warra knew that move was coming. So did Ian. He said we're going to go above. And then last second, there was a bit of hesitation, which is surprising from a pre-start master like Ian Williams. But no question, who's in front? It's Warra.
Well, let's see how Williams goes now. He rounded the first mark with good pressure, so he's already closed in some of that big deficit off the starting line.
Yep.
Williams is ripping now, isn't he? Flying the hole, and Warra parked. What do you call that? H2 mode?
Okay, hold guys, hold. Don't overdo it.
I call that trouble mode.
Trouble mode. So Williams still behind, but definitely closing in.
Stand by, 3, 2,
There's Warra
1.
jibing around the left-hand gate, looking upwind. Ian Williams setting up to do the same. But it is Warra's race at this point in time. About 7 lengths to the Brits.
So Warra has to keep his cool here. He's got a nice lead, but it is eroding with each leg, each corner.
Build out this and tack,
Six-time world champion Ian Williams just nibbling away.
Ready to tack?
Race half over, and the Warra now 14 seconds was the delta, I believe.
Way under trimmed into that. Good.
Okay, both boats now on port. Warra to windward in a very strong covering position at this stage. And look at the guest on board, the hot seat.
Can't push anymore.
It's about the best view you can get for this top-level match racing, Scotty. Keep your head down and your helmet on.
What's happened to that? You fucking short.
Fantastic action, isn't it? So boats ripping upwind. And it seems like Warra a little bit of a gain now. Big left shift.
Yep.
I think Williams is gaining a little bit, Scotty. Maybe not enough to be within striking distance, but he is gaining.
fly by the end of the pier, literally about 60 feet from us off the end of the beach. Now Warra attacks. Warra's
slow.
definitely slow, isn't he? He's parked up. Did he lose steerage there for a moment? And again, Williams just charging a little bit here, a little bit there.
Okay, so
and now it's down to a matter of boat lengths, isn't it?
Okay, let's keep the height then.
Oh, it's exciting to watch.
I would imagine that we'll see Williams follow Warra around the same mark here. No, is he not laying? He's not laying.
No, he'll have to tack. It's going to be a split. He'll go to the right mark. That's an extra tack for Williams. There's Warra rounding. There's Williams tacking for the other mark. He'll be a little bit slow coming into it. The early deploy and bow down, ripping along the shoreline. Williams, I think, will be in slightly less breeze, though, Scotty.
Well, no, that's a big puff.
No,
look at Williams flying the hole, and Warra parked up. This is the pre-start strategy that Williams talked about. If he does this, we do that, and here's why. And you can see it paying dividends now. Ian Williams right back in this.
Jiving.
Into the exclusion zone. He's got to jibe. He's got to turn. Here it comes. Williams trying to get a piece of Warra. They were gaining and rolling him, but Warra now gets the same breeze that Williams had and returns the favor by sliding forward, almost hitting the committee boat. And so's Williams.
He's got a piece.
They're within a half a length.
There it is. It's Ian Williams to leeward on starboard. There's the lead change.
Flag him, somebody.
And he just pulled it out of nowhere, didn't he?
Oh, but
and now there's the luff.
Rolling back over the top of Ian Williams. It is just blow for blow, move for move. Who's going to get the lead? It was Warra, then Williams. Back to Warra. Nothing in this match as Williams looks to get a piece of Warra to lure and hook him. But here comes Warra, the jibe. Has he got it? Yes, simultaneous jibes, and now look for Williams to roll.
He's got it. Well, he had to jibe because of the exclusion zone, so Williams had to give him room. And off goes Williams again. It's like these two boats are attached by a piece of bungee.
Wow.
So about 3 lead changes in about 1 minute there.
Williams.
Absolutely unbelievable. Now Warra flying in. So what's Williams going to do?
He'll jibe. Warra cannot go in there. Warra has to jibe around the outside of Williams and trail behind, and he does, but just a few feet separating the boat, Scotty, as Williams leads Warra back upwind, the last upwind leg.
This is great racing, isn't it? So Warra electing to follow Williams around. So he's hoping that when he tacks...
It looks like it to me.
Yeah, so it looks like Warra's just got clear air there. You can hear Garth Ellingham saying gains here, which means small gains to Williams' team.
Here we go. Williams tacking onto port to stay with Warra. And let's listen in on what is now the winning team.
Wow, this is so close, isn't it? And they've got one more top mark, top gate, I should say, but they typically go around the right mark for the sprint to the finish. And you can see there Warra to leeward, Williams to windward, flying a hole.
So we want right gate, we've got to go lay line, yeah?
So, yep, Williams talking about his approach.
It's a lay down, isn't it?
And there's a slow tack by Warra, so...
Stand by.
Man, that was close on that downwind, couple of lead changes. But now it's Williams tacking 2 more times for the top mark.
It's great stuff. Fantastic action here in front of the fans on shore in St. Petersburg, Russia. Off the Peter and Paul Fortress as Ian Williams, trailing Jonas Warra around the track, found a way to pass him and take the lead on this final beat. Heading for the next turning mark and then the finish. Can Warra catch back up? At this point in the race, it's about 8 boat lengths to the 6-time world champion GAC Pindar crew. That's the last tack.
No hurry. Okay, go, go.
So you heard Williams there say no hurry. That's the first time he's been a little bit relaxed in this race. Because
no hurry,
man, who would
get it done quickly?
Who would have called this from the pre-start that we saw? Ian Williams absolutely stopped, and there he goes across the finish line.
What a match. Ian Williams has done it 2 times in a row, but this one he had to work for. Outsailing Jonas Warra here in the quarterfinals.
What?
Wow.
Yeah, I know, but
that's a golf clap right there, isn't it? Fantastic race, fascinating to follow.
Yeah.
up, but like the situation is going to get any better for us going.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Yeah, you're right. It's so hard to know
Still
he's going
listening.
backwards.
He's going backwards.
Right. Okay.
They're talking about the
what do you mean
start.
straight away though? Like
I was like, for a long time, he's going backwards.
right.
We need to make a decision then on what we're doing.
Well, they're reliving that race, and Scotty, we can do the same here with the advantage of a replay. So let's take a look. Here we go. We join the action at the top. Top mark. Williams is behind, but he splits to the other gate.
So this was the final top marking. You see the puff here. Williams flying a hole, gets the big puff. You can see Warra still relatively parked up there after the early jibe. And this is where Williams just converted his, I don't know, 50-yard deficit around the gate. And then they jibed, came together on the other side of the committee boat. And Williams with a little puff and accelerates straight in there. So now it's Williams in the lead, but then Warra back in the lead.
Two different looks at it.
That's the same incident. That's the jibe at the boat, but this is where Warra rolls over the top. So now Warra back in front. And so this is looking good for Warra. And then 20 seconds later, 10 seconds later, they get to the exclusion zone. They must jibe, and you'll see both boats roll into a simultaneous jibe here. There's Warra giving the hand signal. He goes down, and it was Williams jibed on top and hung on to the lead across the finish. Great race, 1-0, Ian Williams up over Warra.
Well, now let's go out on the water with Ian Williams live. Ian, what a fantastically exciting race. Thanks for keeping us awake here in the commentary booth. Talk us through it, particularly at the start. What happened there?
Well, you talk about being awake. We weren't very awake there, and it's difficult with the current to judge whether he's going backwards or forwards with the flow, and we misjudged that he was actually reversing towards us. So we went into the back of him. That was a big mistake, my fault. But great job by the guys and the whole team, GAC Pindar, to come back from such a big deficit and take the win.
Yeah, well done, Ian. Scotty here, as you said, it was a big deficit off the starting line, but you nibbled away. And then finally you got a piece of him on that last downwind where you came together on the other side of the committee boat.
Yeah, well, I think we were sailing well, sailing fast, not doing anything stupid, trying to keep it close. And it's so shifty and gusty out here that the mistake will come if you can keep it close. So that's what we're looking for.
Well, congratulations to you and your team. Way to keep cool under pressure, and good luck for the next race.
Thanks, Scotty. Thanks, Tucker.
And Ian Williams showing us how to do it out there on the water. One more race to go for him, and 3 more for Jonas Warra if he wants to outsail the 6-time world champion. And Scotty, let's analyze the stats in that race.
Yeah, well, starting time, I'm not sure. Do you think? I'm not sure that Warra was 40 seconds late. Maybe he was, because that's right, he was going backwards, wasn't he? And Williams kind of stuck the boat somewhere where it didn't really fit, so he had to end up backing down. There you go, there's the speed at the start. It was Warra doing 12 and Ian Williams 2. I'm not sure if that was forward or backwards, to be honest. But distance sailed, so Warra sailed a couple of 100 extra meters.
Interesting.
That's significant.
Yeah.
Average speed very similar, and top speed's very similar, but you can see Ian Williams got there. He started with surely a 30-second deficit, and wow, he just did that by connecting the dots, sailing less distance. But Warra, obviously, according to those stats, sailing the boat, you know, in a very similar manner, just maybe didn't hit the puffs that Ian Williams did.
I think you're definitely right, because Warra actually had a better top speed and a better average speed, but Ian Williams sailed much less distance, so he's going higher upwind, lower downwind, better VMG. That's the stats can tell you right there that Warra's sailing a faster mode, and Williams is sailing a higher and slower mode, and the VMG gain is to the British team. I'll bet they'd be interested to get their hands on that information, because you can learn quite a lot from watching that. And we certainly have here, as Ian Williams goes up 2-0 over Jonas Warra. PJ Postma and Phil Robertson are next as the rain comes down here on the Neva River in St. Petersburg. And there's the guy who was laying down, Scotty. He's back up and getting ready to hoist the flag. The 4-minute signal for our next match. And the scores as they stand in this match has Phil Robertson 1-0 over PJ Postma. I mentioned earlier I thought PJ was on a roll. Question is, can he roll back into this enough to even the score?
Well, it's just such a great race course. It's so shifty. The breeze is up and down. And again, it's actually raining reasonably hard again at the moment. And these rain squalls that come through, there seems to be, you know, a pretty big push of breeze before the squalls come through. And then when they come through a little bit afterwards, it just seems to kill the pressure, which adds the random factor, I guess. It makes everything a little bit lighter, and you know the breeze drops quite a bit, and then current becomes a bigger factor. And you could see in that start that Ian Williams, he said in his post-race interview, he found it very difficult to judge whether Warra was moving forwards or backwards. So obviously he was looking at the gap between Warra and the pin end of the start, and he was trying to judge if he had room to go in there. And he said, no, we don't. Yes, we do. No, we don't. Yes, we do. And then it was, no, we did not. So Ian Williams falling on the sword, putting his hand up, owning the responsibility and giving full credit to his team to pull back the result. Well done to Team GAC Pindar.
Now we'll see if Team China One Ningbo can do the same thing, outsailing PJ Postma to go up 2-0, or can PJ Postma even the score in a first-to-win-3 best-of-5 match here in St. Petersburg. The rain is pouring down. And Scotty, didn't we just say less than an hour ago, bright sunny weather? Could it rain again? One predictable thing we know about weather in St. Petersburg is that it is completely unpredictable. Speaking of unpredictable, let's see how the pre-start goes. A 2-minute signal, Scotty. Both boats have entered. Phil Robertson is in the blue boat to the left. Postma in red to the right.
So there's Phil Robertson coming charging in on port, and man, I just love the view outside our office window here, Tucker. The boats are literally, I don't know, I'm going to call it boat lengths. They're about six boat lengths from where we're sitting. Fortunately, we're under cover, but it's raining cats and dogs out there right now. 1:25 to go, and you can see Robertson fishtailing quite aggressively. And that's because the red buoy you see at the bottom of the screen, that is signaling the limit of the course. And so you can hear Robertson detailing every part of the trim that he wants in order to keep the boat sailing very slow. So there's the limiting mark in the foreground, and Robertson guarding the low ground.
Might be into the tack territory here, lads.
Tack territory. He may shift sides. Definitely very tight on that pin lay line to the yellow buoy into the start, even though the current is advantaging them. He's going to tack. Both boats will tack to get upwind of that lay line and back into the start.
Go straight, ready to tack. Travel
Robertson in the lead position.
Wow. So this is interesting. Is Robertson going to be able to pull this off? And I think he is, because Postma lost a lot of speed in that jibe. I expected him to come out a little bit faster.
I don't know.
So Robertson thinks he's okay for time and distance. It's all about pulling the trigger. Yep, speed, speed, speed's the call from Robertson's boat.
Robertson.
7 seconds to go. Can Postma get in there and get a hook?
Oh, beautiful job. Phil Robertson wins the start over PJ Postma, who was coming on from behind with speed, but Robertson able to accelerate across the line and give him dirty air.
Yeah. Stand by. 2.
Wow.
Here's
what a great start. And kind of interesting, Tucker, that we did, it must have been a big left shift, because we did not see Jeniker's on that first, what is supposed to be a reaching leg, isn't it?
I think there was a left-hand shift that made it too tight to deploy, and now they are underway. Long jibe, starboard downwind. And Phil Robertson out in front. Options shut down in a left-hand shift for the trailing boat on this run. Listening in on board with Phil Robertson in the lead.
2.
So Postma has a nice puff there, but so that signifies the left shift, and that that means that both boats were able to lay the leeward gate without jibing.
Yeah, race committee, that's extremely amateur. I think you've got to step your game up a bit and get this show sorted.
Whoa.
Oh boy,
Did
strong
you just hear
words
that?
from
Did
Phil
everyone hear that
Robertson.
around the world? Because if you didn't, it was a glamour. The world champion has just instructed the race committee on how to run better races. That match is abandoned due to a large wind shift.
Wow.
And you know, what's funny, Robertson, of course, is not happy with that, but I'll bet PJ Postma is complimenting the race committee.
They abandoned it because they can't get the marks sorted.
Oh, so... yeah, so...
He's laughing about it.
Yeah, so we're hearing reports from the race committee that they were having difficulty laying some of the marks. So
can't hold a race unless you can get around the marks.
No, and again, it's a very restricted area. I know we keep talking about it, but yeah, there's just so many restrictions to this area. But the race committee so far this week's been doing a fantastic job.
They have. Matthias Dahlstrom and crew, a difficult and sometimes thankless job. When they get it right, the sailors are happy, and when they get it wrong, which is rare, well, the sailors like Phil Robertson, one thing I'd have to say to Phil is, you try it, mate. See how difficult it is. Are we going to a delay, yes? Yes, am I throwing to a delay?
So right now we're looking at the abandonment flag on the race committee boat. That's the blue and white check flag. And we're just awaiting further announcements from the race committee.
So while we wait for the race committee to set the course and get back into the match that was being led by Phil Robertson, see if he can repeat that. PJ Postma quite happy with a second shot at that race. And now let's go back and relive what has been the most exciting match of the day between Jonas Warrer and Ian Williams.
Yeah, I think I'm going to call this one the bungee race, Tucker, because the boats just seem to want to come together and then stay together. So this is well before the pre-start.
Well, this is a replay of the Ian Williams match, and you're going to hear in a few minutes Scotty and I rejoin history.
Just let me know if commentary does come up, Tucker, because I'd hate to...
yeah, I just wonder... Well,
exactly how clear and concise it is, the way they prepare for the races, talk about tactical options. So there's the 2-minute pre-start entry signal.
Stay on port, stay on port. Deploy here.
Here we go, folks. Listen to the tension on board. Williams and crew. Jenniker coming out. They're on port.
That was interesting. Okay, so Williams just saw that he dropped behind enough. So Williams, the hunter here, but Warrer again going for the boundary.
How far back?
So you probably expect to see them go. Oh, has Warrer let him in there? He has. So Warrer's going to have to be careful here. So Warrer will have to start coming up to keep clear. I wonder if he's got time for a circle here. Williams almost concerned that he's too far advanced. So where are we exactly? 1 minute to go.
Big up.
Big up. Less than a minute to go.
We are going to have to tack at some point.
Williams calling for don't lock. Doesn't want to hook. He's already gone to windward.
Full speed, guys.
So Williams now
how long?
To windward.
It's attack, yeah? Stand by.
Setting up for attack.
now.
Williams
Into a circle.
has been doing, okay, here we go.
Circle.
He's setting up for a circle, 32 seconds to go. I think he's got 12 seconds to kill, and he'll get this maneuver in.
We've seen this
close
as
to the pin leg.
We've seen this as a very popular move, haven't we? So now he goes to the deploy, does the big bow down, and this is going to give him more distance and more ability to get up to speed earlier. He just said we're going to go over him. I think is he still going over?
Going to go below, okay?
Now he's going to go below.
To slow.
4, 3, 2, and there's the deploy.
Slow.
So Warra, as he lost steerage, I think he has. Where's Williams going to go? Williams kind of sticks it in there. Big collision.
Shit, we're in trouble.
So who's that going to be? I think Warra was tacking. Was there room for Williams to go in there? Let's see what the umpires say.
I heard Williams say we're in trouble.
Well, no, we can't back with this tide.
Now Warra is clearly on port. Has he wrapped the mark as well? Now Warra back on the starboard.
Big trouble. Here comes the blue flag. It is Williams getting the penalty and wrapped up on the start mark. Warra is slow, but he's out in front. He deploys the Jenniker and takes an early lead.
Disaster for Ian Williams.
Doesn't matter which side of this we go.
You could hear the indecision in the last 20 seconds. We're going to go above him. No, we're going to go below him. And, you know, maybe Warra just did a great job of parking next to the pin. And I'm not sure how wide these M32s are, but if they're, you know, 18 feet wide, maybe Warra left them 15 feet.
Yeah. No, Warra did a beautiful job. He stayed parked. I think Williams thought they were going to accelerate, open up the door a little bit, and Warra knew that move was coming. So did Ian. He said we're going to go above. And then last second there was a bit of hesitation, which is surprising from a pre-start master like Ian Williams. But no question, who's in front? It's Warra.
Well, let's see how Williams goes now. He rounded the first mark with good pressure, so he's already closed in some of that big deficit off the starting line. Williams is ripping now, isn't he? Flying the hole, and Warra parked. What do you call that? H2 mode?
Okay, hold, guys, hold. Don't overdo it.
I call that trouble mode.
Trouble mode. So Williams still behind, but definitely closing in.
Stand by, 3, 2,
There's Warra
1.
jibing around the left-hand gate, looking upwind. Ian Williams setting up to do the same. But it is Warra's race at this point in time. About 7 lengths to the Brits.
So Warra has to keep his cool here. He's got a nice lead, but it is eroding with each leg, each corner.
Build out this and tack.
Six-time world champion Ian Williams just nibbling away.
Ready to tack?
Race half over, and the Warra now 14 seconds was the delta, I believe.
Way under trimmed into that. Good.
Okay, both boats now on port. Warra to windward in a very strong covering position at this stage. And look at the guest on board, the hot seat.
Can't push anymore.
It's about the best view you can get for this top-level match racing, Scotty. Keep your head down and your helmet on.
What's happened to that? You fucking short.
Fantastic action, isn't it? So boats ripping upwind. And it seems like Warra a little bit of a gain now, big left shift.
Yep.
I think Williams is gaining a little bit, Scotty. Maybe not enough to be within striking distance, but he is
look at
gaining.
that fly by the end of the pier, literally about 60 feet from us off the end of the beach. Now Warra attacks. Warra's definitely slow, isn't he? He's parked up. Did he lose steerage there for a moment? And again, Williams just charging a little bit here, a little bit there.
Okay, so
and now it's down to a matter of boat lengths, isn't it?
Okay, let's keep the height then.
Oh, it's exciting to watch.
I would imagine that we'll see Williams follow Warra around the same mark here. No, is he not laying? He's not laying.
No, he'll have to tack. It's going to be a split. He'll go to the right mark. That's an extra tack for Williams. There's Warra rounding. There's Williams tacking for the other mark. He'll be a little bit slow coming into it. The early deploy.
and bow down, ripping along the shoreline. Williams, I think, will be in slightly less breeze, though, Scotty.
Well, no, that's a big puff.
No,
look at Williams flying the hole, and Warra parked up. This is the pre-start strategy that Williams talked about. If he does this, we do that, and here's why. And you can see it paying dividends now. Ian Williams right back in this.
Jiving.
Into the exclusion zone. He's got to jibe. He's got to turn. Here it comes. Williams trying to get a piece of Warra. They were gaining and rolling him, but Warra now gets the same breeze that Williams had and returns the favor by sliding forward, almost hitting the committee boat. And so's Williams.
He's got a piece.
They're within a half a length.
There it is. It's Ian Williams to Leeward on starboard. There's the lead change.
Flag him, somebody.
And he just pulled it out of nowhere, didn't he?
Oh, but
and now there's the luff.
Rolling back over the top of Ian Williams. It is just blow for blow, move for move. Who's going to get the lead? It was Warra, then Williams. Back to Warra. Nothing in this match as Williams looks to get a piece of Warra to Leeward and hook him. But here comes Warra, the jibe. Has he got it? Yes, simultaneous jibes, and now look for Williams to roll.
He's got it. Well, he had to jibe because of the exclusion zone, so Williams had to give him room. And off goes Williams again. It's like these two boats are attached by a piece of bungee.
Wow.
So about 3 lead changes in about 1 minute there.
Williams.
Absolutely unbelievable. Now Warra flying in. So what's Williams going to do?
He'll jibe. Warra cannot go in there. Warra has to jibe around the outside of Williams and trail behind, and he does, but just a few feet separating the boat, Scotty, as Williams leads Warra back upwind, the last upwind leg.
This is great racing, isn't it? So Warra electing to follow Williams around. So he's hoping that when he tacks...
It looks like it to me.
Yeah, so it looks like Warra's just got clear air there. You can hear Garth Ellingham saying gains here, which means small gains to Williams' team.
Here we go. Williams tacking onto port to stay with Warra. And let's listen in on what is now the winning team.
Wow, this is so close, isn't it? And they've got one more top mark. Top gate, I should say, but they typically go around the right mark for the sprint to the finish. And you can see there Warra to Leeward, Williams to windward, flying a hole.
So we want right gate, we've got to go lay line, yeah?
So, yep, Williams talking about his approach.
It's a lay down, isn't it?
And there's a slow tack by Warra, so...
Stand by.
Man, that was close on that downwind, couple of lead changes. But now it's Williams tacking 2 more times for the top mark.
It's great stuff. Fantastic action here in front of the fans on shore in St. Petersburg, Russia. Off the Peter and Paul Fortress as Ian Williams, trailing Jonas Warra around the track, found a way to pass him and take the lead on this final beat. Heading for the next turning mark and then the finish. Can Warra catch back up? At this point in the race, it's about 8 boat lengths to the 6-time world champion GAC Pindar crew. That's the last tack.
Non-furl, no hurry. Okay, go, go.
So you heard Williams there say no hurry. That's the first time he's been a little bit relaxed in this race. Because
no hurry,
man, who would
get it done quickly?
Who would have called this from the pre-start that we saw? Ian Williams absolutely stopped. And there he goes across the finish line.
What a match. Ian Williams has done it 2 times in a row, but this one he had to work for. Outsailing Jonas Warra here in the quarterfinals.
Wow, and there it was. Fascinating match between Williams and Warra. Williams getting there in the end, but who would have guessed after that start? So we are in a delay right now due to shifty conditions on the race course, but stand by and we will be back to you with more action from the WMRT Match Cup Russia.
Yeah, eyes out this one, lads.
314. 310.
Counting down to the 3 minutes in 4, 3, 2, 1.
I don't think you want to get low here, eh? In the start box. Expect attack and then attack back, okay? Up onto lay. I think
50 seconds.
Eyes peeled, boys.
Agree. 40. Bell's coming up here.
35.
Yeah. Well, I want to be going out of here, lads.
20, 19, 17, 16.
Go deploy.
2:12 to go now. And we can hear onboard commentary from Phil Robertson. It's Robertson Postma.
Go trim.
This is an all-important match. It was started once, and we had to cancel. Now we're going to have a rematch for race number 2 between PJ Postma and Phil Robertson. We're in the 2-minute pre-start entry period. Once again, I'm Tucker Thompson, joined by Scott Dixon, and we are live here at Match Cup Russia in St. Petersburg. Scotty, minute 40 to go. Robertson in blue to your right, Postma in red to the left.
Yep, so we saw Postma come in and jibe behind Phil Robertson. Now what's happening here? A little bit of a wobble, a shake. That was Robertson kind of, there we go. It's Postma over the top, so he's going to own the boundary, I believe. So now it's all about timing and how much time they have to go. You can see Postma radically moving the rudders to slow down.
Ready to deploy here?
Look at how
Robertson
is.
Yep, eyeing his opposition with 1 minute to go. So has Postma got Robertson locked into windward here? He's going to try go behind him. Big skull of the rudders. Deploying the Jenica.
Tiller extension, it's broken. On starboard, he won't be able to hike out as far, and that's one advantage that he used to win the World Championship last year. Here comes Robertson on the attack.
So he's going for the hook, and he didn't quite get it, but Postma seemed to react there anyway. So Postma going head to wind. I think he's in a lot of trouble here, Tucker. And it's Robertson really just chasing him. Now he's committed to the left. He's forcing Postma to tack away with only 17 seconds to go. Is Postma going to be able to get steerage and get back onto starboard? It's Postma driving around. How's Robertson?
Hold, Jimmy, hold.
I think Robertson could be in trouble with being over early here. There's the gun. He's not. He's got it all clear. Phil Robertson wins the start over PJ Postma, but Postma's faster and he's going in for an overlap.
Yeah, that was a good comeback by PJ Postma, but just couldn't quite in there. Phil Robertson got going just in time. Good defense, and they are off to the races. Phil Robertson in front.
Well, man, Phil Robertson definitely made that a stressful start, but he pulled it off, and now he's converted it into a lead at mark number 1, 4 boat lengths over PJ Postma.
Yeah, Postma seemed to struggle to get going there a little bit. I'm not sure if his Jenica wasn't sheeted on.
Okay, I'm ready to trim again.
Now remember, the tiller extension is broken on that side, the right-hand side of Robertson's boat. So we'll see upwind if that is in effect, affects them when they're on starboard jibe. Here comes Postma, looking for the roll.
Big gain to Postma there. He had a big puff going into the jibe, and he took that speed. And it looks like he's bow forward on Phil Robertson. Now if he gets that first puff, he'll be down and across. You can see him compressing nicely, but now Robertson gets the puff out of nowhere, flying a hole, and is that what he needs to keep his nose clean? You can see him really searching with the bows. Wow, hasn't he done well? I would have expected Postma to convert quite a big gain there, but it was like we said yesterday, Tucker, he seems to have these little private puffs whenever he needs them.
He certainly does. Just when he looks in trouble, he gets a get-out-of-jail-free card, and it often happens consistently to Phil Robertson. But yet again, luck goes to those who are more prepared and better skilled. And certainly there's a reason Phil Robertson is a world champion. Now, PJ Postma has been on a roll. And the question now is, can he keep that roll going and win some races off of Phil Robertson, who currently leads into the leeward gates?
Right, 3. Keep it out, eh? Keeping it out.
So here's Postma going in for the jibe. And I think Robertson, he's already around the leeward gate, is he? And it must be, yeah, it must be very light because they're now using the Jeniker's upwind, which is first time we've seen that since this morning. Certainly the recent races we've not.
This is where that crossover wind speed comes in, and the Jeniker's actually slowing them down. They'll furl it up and get rid of the drag. There's enough breeze to fly a hull. And they'll tack onto port from the left-hand side of the racetrack. To have a look at PJ Postma. Here's where we'll know whether Postma's made a gain and gotten back into it, or whether Robertson's extended.
Yeah, Robertson looks a little bit light there, but he is starting to move now. So here's Postma coming out of the right-hand side of the racetrack. And there's your delta there. It was about 24 seconds around the leeward mark, I think. But it's Robertson still comfortably in front, about 10 boat lengths. And Robertson, since it is a bit lighter, he'll be looking upwind, studying the course, and really trying to simplify or reduce the number of maneuvers.
What's Robertson doing there? He's come off the rail. He's jumped into leeward.
Yeah, I think
he looks
maybe
very slow out there to the right.
Yep, he's right in front of us here, and even though he's going slow, you can still see a lot of current ripping up the beach. Wow, Postma looks pretty quick there, so now he's peeling into attack. Now Robertson gets the puff.
And Postma hits the low. A minefield of wind velocity up and down here on the unpredictable racetrack in St. Petersburg.
Robertson looking good, Tucker, but I think Postma has made a gain, hasn't he? He definitely looks a lot closer. So he just managed to stay in the pressure a little longer on that side.
And Phil Robertson will round in the lead, but Postma has made a gain. Will it be enough to catch him on this next leg? The final downwind run as Robertson jibes onto port and Postma approaches the top mark.
Quite light here, boys. Main sheet on, big main sheet on.
So there we go, 24 seconds, similar to what it was at the leeward mark.
Toe down again. Right or left turn bottom, Will? Yeah.
Now Robertson gets the big puff. And the pressure's up and down, and again, Robertson and his team making it look very calm, very easy, but I can assure you it is anything but simple out there on this very restricted, landlocked racetrack. When I say landlocked, we're just talking about the buildings and the structures all around it that really play havoc with the breeze.
I'd like you to remind this pair that one of the gate marks.
Now Postma getting a big puff, flying a hull.
So Team War, do you copy that change and are you ready to race? Over.
3,
Copy, we're ready.
2, 1,
Team Williams, do you copy that change and are you ready to race? Over. Williams copies, ready to race.
There's one more jibe for Robertson coming into the leeward gate.
I'll give you enough time to
Postma, there we go, and the background as we look at the Peter and Paul Fortress in the background. Beautiful view. Postma driving one last time. He's got Robertson there, but Postma's on starboard.
The closest these two teams have been around the racetrack is Robertson passing Postma on a different leg, heading upwind. He's tacked, though, in a light spot just underneath the fort, Scotty. Meanwhile, Postma will extend into more breeze to the left-hand side. Could this be his opportunity?
Well, that might have been part of Postma's plan there, was to at least sail over the top of Robertson to see if he could affect him, but you can see Robertson pretty nicely powered up there on starboard. He's in sync with the puffs and he's covering his opponent.
Now look on board. This is where that broken tiller extension comes into play. Robertson likes to sit out on the end of the rack, but he can't on starboard because the tiller extension is half the distance that it should be, but it doesn't seem to be affecting him at this point.
There we have a good view of Phil Robertson sitting inboard. Oh, yep, there's the tiller extension sticking straight up in the air like a TV aerial.
He can't even use it, can he? But he can on port. Let's see if he sits all the way out on the rack on port. Postma, to my eye, you see that funky looking cloud above, his left-hand shift.
Well, that's interesting. So that's how light it is. It's Robertson going back to Jenica on the beat and Postma making good gains.
Now Robertson gets his bow into the breeze that Postma was in. It's interesting that a windward boat doesn't get the same breeze because it filters over the top of these buildings before it hits the race course. Very much like lake sailing here on the Neva River in St. Petersburg. But PJ Postma is gaining. Will it be too little too late? This is leg 5 of 6. One more sprint to the finish. Robertson is slow.
So that was interesting, wasn't it? It just shows you how much attention these teams have to give to powering up and powering down the boats. So it was Robertson that deployed his Jenica on the beat. Postma coming flying in with his Jenica still up and a very slow tack for Robertson around the final mark. And now he deploys. So Postma a lot closer, but it's really a very short sprint to the finish from here. And Postma with that ever so painful final tack around the last mark to complete.
Peter Jan Postma with a last-ditch effort, trying to reel in Phil Robertson's, but it's not to be. Robertson and the China One Ningbo crew will go 2 up over Postma in a first-to-win 3-match quarterfinals. And he'll be happy with that. All right, well, let's relive that moment while we tee up and interview Scotty. Let's begin all the way back at the start with Robertson and Postma.
So that's Robertson to leeward there, and this is where we thought
about 25 seconds
about
to
25
the start.
seconds to go, and I believe it's Robertson in the blue. And yeah, Postma did the big peel away here, and we've seen this maneuver so many times.
Well, not sure what happened there.
No, a little freeze frame.
The action stopped. We'll go back to live action. Well, next we'll go down and listen in. Let's talk to Phil Robertson. Phil Robertson, this is Tucker Thompson live in the broadcast. Can you hear us down there?
Yeah, I've got you here, mate.
Hey, great job, man. You know, when we saw the first attempt at race number 2, you were way ahead. Then they abandoned it. You didn't seem too happy about that match, but I bet you're pretty happy now.
Yeah, no, it's not ideal. It's obviously not the best situation to be in, but that's part of racing. And yeah, got a nice little win there. It's a bit challenging on the course, quite light and patchy at times. So yeah, a lot of Jenica upwind and a lot of decisions in between whether to pull it out or not.
I'll leave that comment alone, but listen, tell me about your tiller extension on the starboard side. It looks a lot shorter than the port one.
Yeah, it got a little bit trapped. It actually got stuck on the mark and stuck in the sort of tiller extension holder here, so yeah, it snapped.
Oh, well, either way, you made it look easy. You won the match. One more to go, and you're on through to the semifinals, so good luck.
Nice. Cheers, mate.
Well, there we go. And now, Scotty, let's look at these statistics from that race. Robertson and Postma.
Yep, so Robertson pulling the trigger at the start, 0.7. That's spot on, isn't it? I think that's the lowest number we've seen. And then Postma a little bit behind, 5 seconds further back. But Postma was going quickly. Again, distance sailed very similar for both boats. Average speed very similar. Top speed very similar. So, you know, Phil Robertson up 2-0, but again, I wouldn't hesitate to bet on Postma to take at least a race or two back. He's certainly very capable.
Yes, he definitely is. And as we've said so many times over in the broadcast, Postma has been on a roll. And we'll see if he can get back into that roll and get back into this match. He'll have to win 3 in a row now to move on into the semifinals. Robertson only needs to win 1. Now, 3 minutes to go, less than 3 minutes rather, to our next match. We're going to rejoin Ian Williams and Jonas Warrer. Williams is also up 2-0 to Jonas Warrer in a first to win 3 match quarterfinals. 2 minutes, 30 seconds to go. Williams in black, starting below the signal boat, the power boat on the far right of screen. Warrer in the light blue boat, starting above the committee boat. They'll both be entering from the left of our screen and moving to the right. Here we go. 10 seconds, the countdown to the start.
Yeah.
Well, if you're Jonas Warrer, you're certainly wondering what you need to do to beat the 6-time world champion. The last race, it was Williams got the start completely wrong, tangled up on the mark, I think with a penalty, and Warrer had a massive lead at the first mark, and Williams just
gonna jibe in front,
chopped away there. There's Ian Williams saying gonna jibe in front. So Williams now slowing down, furling the Jenica. And again, what they're doing here, it's Williams who's positioned himself in between Warrer and the limiting marks. I mean, they're literally about 50 feet, 60 feet off the beach here.
He's unfurled, okay? Let's match, unfurl.
Let's match. I love how Williams talks his way through the race. Scotty, he put you and I out of a job. We can listen in.
Let's go up with him.
There's Warrer pulling the trigger. He accelerates first.
It's going to be a circle, probably. Do you want to stay here? Stay here. No, up. Yeah, up, furl. How long? Into a circle, guys. Got to get flow, Gus.
Wow, as Ian Williams left this a bit late, is Warrer going to be able to get his jibe in on starboard?
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, I don't think he had
attack back, I think.
I don't think Warrer had room to bear away and jibe there due to the boundary.
1.
So this will be interesting here. Who can accelerate first? Can Warrer get his bow down and accelerate over the top of Williams? I think he might be able to with 14 seconds to go.
We're racing, guys.
And now Warrer comes down and across Williams' bow very aggressively. I think that's role reversal. So how are they looking? 3, 2, 1, and it's Warrer off the starting line, clear ahead. Great start.
A picture-perfect start for Jonas Warrer, doing exactly what he has to do to stay in the regatta and try to take a match off of Ian Williams, who mistimed the start. Unforced error by the 6-time world champion, and into mark number 1 to leeward and ahead by about a length and a half is Jonas Warrer.
Well, Ian Williams behind by 2 boat lengths on this one, and the last one he was behind by about 22 boat lengths. So certainly it's early in the race, and I think Williams will know that there's plenty of opportunity for gains around this race course. But Warrer will have to sail it almost flawlessly from here to keep the 6-time world champion behind him.
How far? How far to exclusion? 3, 2, 1,
Interesting,
driving.
That's one of the few times today we've seen the trailing boat go behind the jiving boat rather than jiving first and try to roll over the top. So let's see how this works out for Ian Williams. It looks like Warrer, who's got the path first. No, it's pretty even, isn't it? So maybe that's Williams already choosing the gate he wants at the bottom mark.
A lot of tension on board. You can feel it and you can hear it from Ian Williams. We apologize for a little bit of colorful language.
Where's best pressure?
But all of that translates to the fact that Williams is getting his race handed to him. by Jonas Warrer.
I just
Warrer,
heard.
meanwhile, doing.
He's lifting
this
a
is
lot.
the race
okay?
he needs.
I just heard Ian Williams asking his team, where's the best pressure? And
Careful
it sounds
on the
like maybe
overtrim,
it's on board
okay.
Williams' boat.
Yeah, I'm coming.
Well, look at Williams coming into him now, though.
So Warren's still ahead. He's doing a nice job. I mean, that's about what the lead was around the top mark. So I think Warren
No, it's not.
doing
Stand by.
okay. Well, he's doing great. He's in the lead. But you can see the teams
slow
looking
turn
around,
jibe.
studying the race course.
Yeah, got
they
red
cannot
can.
afford to miss a single shift.
Light wind
So tricky
jibe.
out there.
That is not a happy Ian Williams. You can tell by the tension and by the words. Is he gaining though? Scotty, look at that puff that Williams has inshore below the fort.
I think Warren's parked
Left
up
turn
there.
looks biased to me. We have a piece of him here.
Yeah, so Williams says he's got a piece. It's Williams
Dial.
on starboard, Warren on port. Is there going to be a dial here? Is he going to force him into a jibe, or can Warren accelerate and get in front?
Flag him.
Oh, that
There's
looks
the
like
flag.
a penalty.
Warren thinks he's inside the zone. Wow, it has to be. He has to be within 3 boat lengths, otherwise it's a Warren penalty, and maybe a double. See what the umpires say. Green flag.
And
so
wow.
Warren retains the lead, retains control. Wow, it seems like they sailed a long way, but we'd have to see more of a zoomed out camera shot of that one to really get an idea.
With that flag being green, Warrer had the zone at the mark, and if there had been contact, Williams likely would have gotten the penalty.
Yes, true.
Even though it was port starboard. Once they get within 3 boat lengths of the mark, it shifts to who's inside. Now, Warrer heading to the left in good pressure, and on the left of our screen, you're going to see Williams. There he is, popping out just below the fort. He's behind, but close.
So we were looking at that camera shot going, where's Williams, where's Williams? We can't quite see him from our viewpoint. And then he came blasting out of there quite quickly, didn't he? So I would say maybe advantage to Williams here. Warrer has to tack.
I think it's a
really,
dial.
he needs a good puff coming out of that left-hand side. And is there going to be a dial here? It's Warrer ducking.
How far?
Interesting, he just missed it. You heard him call for the dial.
It's the boat, yeah.
By the time Warrer tacked onto port,
Stand by.
Ian Williams hesitated. So no dial. Rain coming down now across the course, and the lead change. Advantage has gone back to Ian Williams.
Keep easing. That's good, Garth.
However, Williams is now on port and attack down.
So it's all about who gets the next puff. There's been some nice juicy puffs here on the right-hand side. If Warwick can step into one of those and come back on a decent angle, then he'll be right back into Williams again. I mean, it was the last cross was a duck. We'll call it a lead change, but it's still anybody's race.
Big moment here.
Now on a late call on the gate. Got a good lead here, guys.
Good lead. So it's, what is it, about 4 boat lengths?
Straight.
But no, Williams did do well there. He created 4 boat lengths out of what was essentially a duck on the previous cross.
Very impressive. And ley line into the next mark. Beautiful job for Williams and crew on board. The race winner so far.
Holding. Stand by 2.
Warrer following Williams around the same mark. Williams
jibing
into a jibe.
Fast downwind here, guys. Easy, easy, easy.
That looks like a nice puff on Warrer right when Williams jibes, so maybe they're a lot closer again.
This is 2 holes in.
This match far from over. Warrer within a length or 2 of Williams. Look at the current pushing the boats left to right here on the Neva River in St. Petersburg.
So does it look like Williams has more weight to leeward, perhaps? Hard to tell. But it's still very close, and again, we're so landlocked. But it's tough to see the puffs coming down.
Particularly in the rain.
I'm not watching him. You want to jibe? This feels like a good jibe, but...
Williams asking his crew. He'd like to jibe, but he won't until
jibing 3, 2, 1, jibing now.
Calls for it. And that's trust in your
light
crew,
air
Scotty.
jibe, light air jibe.
Oh, it's getting light for Ian Williams. I can see why he wanted to jibe a length or 2 earlier. There's better pressure just below where Warrer is, and Williams is just now getting his nose into it and starting to speed up. But he had to go through a lull for at least 2 lengths.
Well, it's an exercise in patience, isn't it? And I think Williams getting a little bit of a puff now. And at some point, Warrer's going to have to come out of that corner.
Let's just get the mid-gate and then make a late call.
Late call on whether they're going to turn left or right at the bottom gate.
Stand by. Jibing 3, 2,
so tough to tell what's favored in the rain,
jibing, slow turn, light air jibe.
But Williams in command again. If he wins this, he's on to the semifinals, and Warrer needs to catch up.
Oh, we can't have lockout on the trim for so long, guys. Which gate?
Right, looks closer.
I agree.
Rest is even on the course.
I'm happy right gate. He's got a jibe.
So planning on a right gate, bottom
Negative.
of the track.
Okay.
Wow, it looked like, yep, so there's Williams. Will he keep his Jenica out? That's the leeward gate. And is it light enough that he will keep the Jenica out? And there's your answer. Yeah, very light, so they're using this extra sail area to power the boats up.
Are we furling now? I think so.
So now they've got enough speed, enough power, they're going to furl the Jenica.
Boundary in 10.
There's Warrer approaching the leeward gates.
Power up the main if we can.
And he will jibe and split, most likely,
3, 2,
around the opposite gate to head to the right. And look how slow that maneuver is, Scotty.
That's painful, isn't it?
It doesn't help.
No, and you can see there in the foreground the current just ripping up river.
So he's sailing extra distance to get to the opposite mark. He jibed, which made him slow.
Yeah.
And he was certainly closer to the other mark.
Yeah. The breeze is in the left phase, and yeah, Williams is in phase also. So it's tough. It's Ian Williams doing everything by the book. Again, he took a very close situation, and he's really stretched it out now, hasn't he?
Big time. Williams way out in front on the final beat.
I'm thinking we go before this can.
You're right about the left-hand shift, Scotty, and Williams is just hooked into it like an elevator to the top mark.
Tacking in 3, 2, 1, tacking now.
Yeah, so now you can hear the cadence in Williams' voice, quite a bit more relaxed and, you know, a little slower, a little smoother with the communication.
Yeah, I'm going above yellow, I think.
Williams constantly asking for feedback from his crew and letting them know what he plans to do simultaneously. Garth Ellingham, Will Ryan, Richard Sydenham.
Stand by, tacking 2.
Rolling the Jenica up and setting up for the last tack of this match in the lead. Williams.
Your unfurl.
With his sights set on the semifinals.
It's quite hot, there's the gate. Go, 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 go.
So that's around the, through the windward gate for the final time, and it's a short reach to the finish. Nice pressure on Williams' boat, certainly enough that he won't be concerned.
Not at all.
And
easily.
there he goes.
Furling it up and crossing the finish line 3-0. Ian Williams takes Jonas Warrer, and he'll move on
I think that's the
to
plan.
join the semifinals.
Let's make sure we get there with this current, guys.
Before they start the next race. Right, good job here, guys.
What a race. I'll tell you what, both times he had to come from behind and earn those races, Scotty. It wasn't perfect, but it's not how you start, it's how you finish.
Exactly, and certainly he turned up the heat when it counted, didn't he? I thought Warrer...
yeah, well done. Sorry about the start.
Excuse me, Warrer sailed extremely well. He was in the lead and, in fact, defended extremely well on that first downwind. But Williams just turning it up on the upwind.
All right, well, let's go back into the match, Scotty, and relive it. But we're going to go down to the leeward mark, and that's where things got close.
So that's where Warrer was on port, Williams on starboard. Williams thought he had a piece, and Yeah, you can see Williams flying the flag, and this was a green and white flag incident from the umpires. But then on the upwind, here's Williams on starboard. And, yeah, Warra ducking. So that was about as close as it got there. And then when they came back together at the top mark that time, it was Ian Williams just stretched out a little further, and there he goes across the finish line. So certainly made it look easy in the end, but the beginning of the race, certainly the first half, was anything but.
No, he did make it look easy, but it certainly wasn't. Let's go down onto the water and check in with Ian Williams himself. Ian, can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
Great job. And I got to tell you, it certainly wasn't easy. You had to work for both of those last 2 wins, didn't you?
Yeah, we did. I mean, the starting was I was a bit off today. I think struggling with the timing of that final circle, but great job by the guys on Team GAC Pindar. I think we're a little smoother, a little faster downwind, which is super critical into this current.
Yeah, hi Ian, well done. Downwind, it looked like you might have had a piece of him there on starboard, and you were you well outside the 3 boat length circle. How did you see that one?
Oh, it was real close. We thought he was outside. I guess he thought he was inside, and the umpires agree with him. So we went for the penalty cell, but not too hard, and just kept it close. And obviously I think we got the next cross, so it worked out well.
And obviously pretty critical keeping the boat powered up, the breeze up and down, and a lot of communication regarding whether or not you use the Jenica or not upwind.
Yeah, absolutely. The Jenica or not upwind is a big call. With trying to see the pressure down, it's quite hard in the light we've got here with the storm clouds as well. But I think the real key is the downwind and keeping it smooth and fast downwind and picking the angles.
Well, you kept it smooth enough to move on into the semifinals. Ian Williams, congratulations.
Thanks, guys.
Well, there we go, Scotty. So in a few moments, we'll rejoin the next match. It's going to be Phil Robertson and PJ Postma. And Postma needs to win this to move on. In fact, if he wants to move into the semifinals, he's got to win the next 3. Robertson only has to win this match. Now, 2-minute signal has gone. Robertson to windward, right hand of screen in the blue boat. Postma in red to leeward.
Well, there goes Robertson jibing. That's Postma closer to us on the red boat. Now, this is the first time we've seen Jenica's up this long, and essentially what that does is gets them a lot deeper in the box, and I think it makes it quite a bit harder for the leading boat, which right now is Phil Robertson. It's dragged them that much lower in the box.
Tacking back at Jimmy, go.
And so Postma's done the intelligent thing was to, once Robertson committed low, he went high, so now he can come back for another swing at it.
Can I get a tack under him? Bit hard, eh? Yeah, 3, 2, 1, tacking here.
Oh, so Robertson going for the tack underneath. Will Postma try to roll Robertson here and change sides again? So Postma's certainly going a lot quicker. And there he goes. He's going over the top, and there's Robertson dead in the water.
Slow, cut.
I don't know if I don't know if Postma did enough there. Did he to get across Robertson's bow? I'm not too sure.
He hasn't dropped down below his line.
He really hasn't, has he? You know, that kind of surprised me. We'll see how it works out.
I think Postma could be in a bit of trouble here.
Maybe he thinks they're deep enough in the box already. But certainly if Phil Robertson has the initiative here of when he can pull the trigger with 12 seconds to go.
Leeward rack!
So he's, yeah, that's,
he's going backwards there!
Oh boy, Robertson going over the top. Can he get away with it? That's close, isn't it? They're sculling. So who's
their contact? The starting gun has gone. PJ Postma will cross first, but there is a penalty on the play. Umpires could decide the start as Postma leads Robertson across the line. Green flag.
So you could hear Phil Robertson saying, hey, he was going backwards the whole time. He's got to keep clear, but that was excellent work by PJ Postma. Phil Robertson doing everything he could to get over the top, but Man, the way these guys handle the boats and down speed maneuvers is exceptional. PJ Postma around the top mark with a 3 boat length lead.
Well, Postma back on that roll that he's been on for the past few regattas.
Bring the weight in a click.
And Postma flying a hull, and
Just matching jives
Robertson
here, boys.
is
I don't
not.
want the weight up.
So Postma doing exactly what he needs to do to beat the current world champion, but he needs to keep the pressure on, doesn't he?
Yeah. Well, look, on paper, there's no question. Phil Robertson, the better team all the way around. But I got to give it to PJ Postma. He's been working so hard, training with his team. He's got 2 M32s back in the Netherlands, and he wants this, perhaps more than any other team. And now he's up against world ranked #1, and he's finally in the lead.
Yeah, no, just the way he came out of that jibe, Tucker, it just looked very smooth. He went into the flying a hole reasonably quickly, and he's stayed there ever since. So, again, if he's matching and maybe even extending a little bit on Phil Robertson, you can't do much better than that. So, PJ Postma and his team doing a fantastic job right now.
Into the leeward gates, it is now Postma's match. And he'll shift into defense mode.
We're going to go left turn here, boys.
And take the left-hand gate as we look upwind.
Weight up, 2, 1.
And that's going to leave Robertson with the option to split into a jibe and head to the right. Now, Postma must like what he sees to the left there, Scotty, because he has the choice of which mark to go around.
Yeah, so I thought perhaps Postma might have tacked there to cover Robertson. He certainly had enough room and opportunity to do that. But it seems like Robertson's maneuver around that leeward mark was extremely slow. And you could see Postma on the right-hand side of the screen just doing it, keeping it very simple, keeping the boat speed moving, and almost ripped off the rear view mirror on that last interchange. He's like, oh, Robertson's going that way, let's not worry about it, let's just keep the boat moving. So Postma in a must-win situation, and that's exactly what he's doing.
Yeah, it is. 2, 1, go Phil.
Too much wind for the Jenniker. They'll throw it up. Postma does not have a Jenniker up. He's got more breeze from that left-hand side.
Come on, son, switch on, let's.
Listen to
oh, boy.
Even when he's at his absolute tensest and he's behind, he's still joking with his crew. Come on, lads.
3, 2, 1.
Both of these teams, either one of them, are hysterical off the water. Great personalities. And you're happy if either one of them wins. You're not surprised if Phil Robertson wins. He's up 2-0.
Go, son.
But you're impressed if Postma keeps this up. Another deploy. Look how hard Robertson's crew is working to try and get back into this match. I'm not even sure they needed the Jenniker. It is crossover conditions, though, isn't it?
Yeah, Postma pretty slow there, though, isn't he? So as Robertson made a bit of a gain here, but Postma laying the top mark. So you can hear the little bit of tension in Robertson's voice. He certainly, you know, badly wants the win. He wants Postma to go away, and this is why, because Postma sailing exceptionally well.
Yeah, go, Jimmy, go.
And that's Postma already into the jibe as Phil Robertson rounds the top mark and now lays it down on the downwind leg, but it's PJ Postma with a comfortable lead, flying a hole downwind, and that's the shot that tells the story there with the Winter Palace in the background. Postma flying a hole ahead to leeward, 10 boat lengths, no drama. Wow, he's sailing smooth, isn't he?
Absolutely. Look at that crew, tight to leeward, compress their weight together, along with the guest racer, the hot seat.
Should I be chasing this?
Still listening to onboard audio from Robertson, asking his crew what the plan is with the next shift, whether it's a jibe or continue straight. How can they catch Postma?
So let's see how Postma accelerates out of this jibe. Certainly the jibes are very expensive maneuvers. Postma already flying a hole as Robertson jibes onto port.
Robertson knows if he loses this match, he's got two more chances at winning that all-important third one. Nice gains, though, as he accelerates in a puff.
Yeah, press the weight up, going right turn, okay?
So Postma very slow indeed, and you can hear Robertson saying, nice gains, boys, here we go. And he's certainly cut into Postma's lead, but Postma, for my money, he's done a great job of keeping it simple, reducing maneuvers. So he'll be studying the upwind racetrack. Oh boy, he's kept his Jenica out around the leeward mark. And that's, as you heard Ian Williams say a little bit earlier, it's a big decision.
You got to wonder, looking at the faces on Postma's crew, they know Robertson's right back in this match, and I think he is. Look at that, Scotty.
Yeah, so Postma in phase with Robertson, so the opportunity for Robertson to gain at the moment not that great, but he's obviously taken a huge chunk out of Robertson's lead.
We are gaining.
We are gaining is the call from Robertson. He's got his Jenica up, Postma does not, and that's just because it's crossover conditions. Crossover meaning, you know, depending on the puff, you might want your Jenica, you may not. So here comes Robertson coming out of that left-hand side. And let's have a look at the cross here, how much Robertson has gained. We know he's gained for sure.
Robertson flying a hole with the Jenica deployed. They like it deployed. You can hear him talking about it. Meanwhile, Postma electing not to deploy until now. He's not happy with his speed compared to Robertson, who's been on the attack this whole leg.
So that's definitely Robertson gaining, but now the pressure is back on the course. It's Postma in the lead, but absolutely unbelievable. It's going to come down to this last puff here, and who's got the inside at the final top mark. So now you'll see the cross, and it'll be Postma ahead, but Robertson is tacked first, so he will accelerate first, and it's the timing difference that is so critical in these boats. So there you can see Postma kind of dead in the water. You hear Robertson saying, well in this, boys, so you know, don't give up faith. And Postma did not redeploy there.
3, 2, 1, go cut.
Look at Robertson trying to reel Postma in. You can feel it, but can they do it? Or will Postma hang on to this win that he's fought so hard for, heading for the finish?
Wow, now Postma accelerates away, but it was Robertson closing right in at that top mark. Look at how much he's closed up. He's still accelerating. He's starting to fly a hole. Can he get there? Man, the breeze is shut off for Postma. Can he get to the finish line? It's only a couple of boat lengths in it. Now Postma gets the puff. Wow. He's going to get there, but look at how close it is. It really came down to the last puff.
Talk about a nerve-wracking race for PJ Postma, but in the end, he's wanted to stay in the quarterfinals. He's won his first match against Phil Robertson, and the score is now 2-1.
Wow, well sailed PJ Postma, and we thought halfway around he was, you know, looked like a safe lead, but then Phil Robertson just came charging like a wild animal, and he nearly got there in the end, but PJ Postma, exceptional sailing to defend his lead. He's happy with that one, isn't he?
Certainly is. Well deserved. And now you've got to wonder, has the momentum shifted to the Dutch team? Let's go back into the replay and see where it all went down, Scotty, for Pieter-Jan Postma. This is the last beat, upwind with Postma, no Jenica, and Robertson does.
Yeah, so this is where Robertson rounded the left-hand gate downwind. He kept his Jenica up, and yeah, Postma just got a little bit light in this right-hand corner. So now we're looking at Robertson in the foreground, and he'd made huge gains. Remember on that at the leeward gate for the first time, Postma was well in control. And even right here as Robertson came back, this was right where Robertson said, we're right in this, boys, stay in there. And in the end, Postma got there. He got the puff he needed to get around the last mark and accelerate away across the finish line. But fantastic race.
Absolutely. And now we're going to go down to the water live with the winner of that race. PJ Postma, nice job, buddy. That was a nerve-wracking race to watch, but you nailed it.
It was, wasn't it? It was great.
Right, that's that smile that we've seen all day on shore, but it looks a little bigger out there. Great job in the match. Was there at any point in that match where you were nervous about your lead?
All the team, all four of us, we stayed cool, and we fought for every meter, and I think it paid very clear.
Yeah, hi PJ, Scotty here. Congratulations to you and your team. It seemed to me on the first upwind you rounded the leeward gate, and it was almost as if you decided to sail your own race and maybe ignore. Yeah, you had an option to go cover fill, but you wanted to just maybe sail the pressure a little more.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Phil Robertson and the team China won, they're very quick, and sometimes here he chews for some gusts, so he tried to stay in the gust and, take that down. So it paid off. Nice.
Well, PJ, great job in that match. Now there's 2 more left to go for you to stay in this fight, man. Good luck.
Cheers to that. Great to be here in St. Petersburg. Cheers.
Always happy, isn't he? Whether he's winning or losing, but I think he's a little bit happier in the lead. Let's take a look at the statistics in that race, Scotty. Here we go. Postma on the left and Robertson on the right.
So there you go. It was Postma across the starting line first. And, yep, speed at the start. Robertson a little quicker, but Postma did what he needed to do. That's right. We had the little pre-start incident, didn't we? So distance sailed, yeah, a little bit less for Robertson. Average speed about the same, top speed. It looks like Postma got the a little puff there that maybe Robertson didn't. And man, that was a close race. Could have gone either way. And again, the stats very, very similar. Yep, the starts we saw today and yesterday, and in fact, a couple of skippers have said the starts are really. Yeah, they're important, but they're not that important. They're not as important as you might normally expect. So the race course is showing to be a real minefield, but all the teams at this level sailing the boats extremely consistently in very changeable conditions.
And the race time, only 8 seconds separating those teams. And congratulations, Peter-Jan Postma taking his first win in a best-of-3 here in the quarterfinals. Okay, so we've got a few minutes to wait before the start of the next match. Once again, I'm Tucker Thompson with Scott Dixon live from Match Cup Russia here in St. Petersburg. We'll be back with you in a few minutes. Welcome back to our live coverage of Match Cup Russia here in St. Petersburg, the 4th stop on the World Match Racing Tour. Once again, I'm Tucker Thompson, joined by Scott Dixon. And Scott, you're looking at PJ Postma and Phil Robertson. Robertson leading Postma 2-1 and the first to win 3 match quarterfinals. Only one of these teams will go on to join Ian Williams, Matt Sherwood, and Sam Gilmore in the semifinals of Match Cup Russia. Who will it be? 2 minutes, 30 seconds to go to the pre-start. Robertson in blue, Postma in red. Well, we called it earlier, didn't we? We expected to see some fireworks. Phil Robertson, certainly, current world champion. He went to 5 matches in his Super 16 match and got there in the end. But PJ Postma also, he had some incredibly difficult matches yesterday in these very conditions where it was light and shifty and a lot of current and just the lead changes. And he had a lot of very close matches, and it's kind of what we saw in the last match between these two where PJ Postma came out on top. So now they're into the pre-start of match number 4. Robertson currently up 2-1. It's Robertson in the blue boat. Jenica on the left-hand side of the screen. He's leading the charge down to the low ground. That's a position that Robertson likes to be in, leading down to the lower side of the racetrack here. Minute 25 seconds to go. Postma up to windward in red. So Postma there on port, must keep clear.
There's
so
got to be a penalty, umpire.
Wow, yeah, so Robertson asking the question. It did look like Postma was a little lazy to keep clear there.
He's sitting on port the whole time.
He's sitting on port the whole time, says Robertson. Postma tacks around. Coaching his way through. Blue flag penalty, and it's Postma who gets it. Now that is going to put Postma up against the ropes. He'll have to slow down after the start or get an offsetting penalty to Robertson. 43 seconds to go. Port starboard again. So now Postma has to keep clear again. He's very slow indeed. I think maybe Robertson's decided he doesn't want to race this guy anymore. He's too dangerous, so he's really trying to end the situation. And it is the red boat of Postma to windward. Is he going to be able to roll Robertson here and get over the top? I think he might be early for the line here. Robertson accelerating as Postma got anywhere to go. Can he get away with it? A lot of time to go. Now Robertson 2-1, and there's the start. And was he okay? Yes, Postma off to the races. Just made it in there, starting ahead of Phil Robertson, but it doesn't matter. He's got to stop. So he's got a penalty to do. He's going to have to drop back, but at least he's in a position where when he drops back. What's he doing? Yeah, and now Robertson asking for a second penalty.
Okay, easing way down here, boys.
That one could be green, but there's the green flag for Craig Mitchell. Not asleep at the watch. He's still got the blue flag up. It must be down now. Postma's behind. The race is on. There it goes. But not before Robertson is ahead again.
Sorry, boys. I was straight into a jibe there. 2-1, jibing.
Wow, so was that, I wonder if that was Robertson apologizing to his team because he felt like they should have stepped straight into a jibe. And you can see the puff in the background. Postma flying a hole and Robertson in the foreground, dead in the water. Wow. So PJ Postma, again, sailing incredibly well. Got the starter a little bit wrong. But got that jibe right. Yeah, but he's gotten rid of his penalty and now right back in this match. And Robertson knew it. You heard him apologize for not jibing immediately there and staying in the breeze that Postma's in. Postma could be ahead. So, you know, I think Postma must have rolled over Robertson's breeze there because even though, you know, Postma was flying a hull and he still is, that pressure never came down to Robertson, or maybe it did, and because it was Postma's gas, Robertson never had the opportunity to fly the way Postma did there for a considerable amount of time. So I'd expect to see Postma possibly ahead coming into this leeward gate. This could be close. Closer than it looks anyway. Almost a collision course. Who's inside at the mark?
Left.
Could there be a flag on there? If it is, I doubt it's green. Or doubt it wouldn't be green, but Postma leads around the left-hand gate, looking back upwind over world champion Phil Robertson by about 2 lengths. Robertson has split to the right, but he's close enough to attack.
So this is interesting. This is a similar position to what they were in the last match. And this is where PJ Postma said, yeah, we're well aware that Phil Robertson's on the racetrack, but they really stuck to their guns, picked their own shifts, and just relied on their ability to sail the boat fast around the track. And that's certainly what he appears to be doing at the moment. I wonder if that's a little right shift there as he approaches the boundary.
He's probably got 2 and in.
So that's Robertson saying he thinks Postma's got 2 tacks to do, and Robertson thinks he has only 1. So this is the cross that's going to be interesting. Is Postma still in the lead here? Can he get across? I think he can. He's looking pretty good. I think he's got a nice puff out of that left-hand side of the track. Although Robertson powering up now, there is nothing in it. You know, we can talk about boat lengths or meters or whatever, but it really comes down to the maneuvers. One maneuver is maybe 6 or 7 boat lengths, and that is about PJ Postma's lead right now.
Look at
Postma
this,
tacks in
Robertson
front.
coming in strong.
Oh boy. So this is where Postma needs to accelerate. Can Robertson get in there? He's really closing up, isn't he?
Ready to fill, boys, if we have to.
Well, he has closed up, and PJ Postma accelerating around the mark, but Phil Robertson right on his hammer, only a boat length in it. This is an absolute gunfight, isn't it?
A rough jibe for PJ Postma as Robertson accelerates around the mark, looking to capitalize and looking to catch up.
Slow, Jimmy. Quite low here.
Wow, excellent job by PJ Postma. Straight into the jibe, and is he going to get that magic puff that he got last time? This is the side of the racetrack that propelled him into the lead, and there he goes. Again, he's flying a hull, and he's far enough forward, I think, that he's on Robertson's breeze. And there's the puff, and he starts ripping away now, and those are valuable yards against the current world champion. Robertson dead in the water, isn't he? Really sitting low. Postma still flying a hull.
And he's just in Postma's gas as well.
That's a
painful
view from Robertson's perspective, isn't it? And Postma still just cruising along. It's like he's out for a Saturday afternoon sail. Enjoying himself. I'm sure he's got a grin from ear to ear.
Postma with 2 boards down rather than the windward one up.
Interesting.
Not sure. Usually see that more in breeze than in the light stuff.
Wow, can he hang on to this lead?
Well, he's certainly gained quite a lot on this downwind run, the last downwind leg of the race, and he's jibing for the leeward gates. Now
so that's Phil Robertson saying possibly go on him here. And then he changed his mind.
Big puff to PJ Postma, the boat heeling around the leeward mark, and he'll furl as he heads upwind over Phil Robertson. 3 lengths.
Go, Phil. Big traveller. Big trap, big trap, big trap.
Wow,
good
not
game.
much in it.
Oh,
3, he's hooked the
Robertson
mark.
has caught
That's
the mark,
Phil
and
Robertson.
he's stopped in the water. They're going to have to disconnect it. Yeah. That is slow. Postma sails on. Robertson's in trouble.
Don't know. Let me just tack and see if we can get around it here, okay?
Listen to how calm he is. Even though the race is almost over, they've hit the mark. And he just says, let me just
Going
tack.
backwards here, boys. Going backwards.
Listen, going backwards.
And it will be a back ride, okay?
I mean, he's just calm. No aggression
Yeah. Okay, go traveller up, please.
at all.
Will, traveller.
Yeah, but there's no air of dejection. It's still very
Still
structured.
In it, go deploy.
Yep.
That is a winner. Nothing phases him.
But PJ Postma, so impressed with this guy, not just enjoying his sailing, but enjoying it from out in front and in front of the current world champion. This will be a fantastic result if PJ Postma can hang on to this. And this will bring it all level.
Still listening on board. Phil Robertson. What are you going to do, you know?
Oh, is that who that was?
Yeah, that was Phil.
I had to look to my left, Tucker, just to make sure that it was coming from on board.
You heard incorrectly. That was Phil. No Jenniker from Postma. And that's what we saw in the last match, too. They're comfortable to sail without a Jenniker farther downrange. Robertson holds his Jenniker farther uprange. Two different sailing styles. And remember, Robertson came into Postma quite a bit in that last match, almost passed him. Now, there's PJ Postma having deployed the Jenniker in this lighter breeze upwind.
Yep, Postma on the final leg. He's on the final sprint to the finish now, and this is going to be I think, a popular result on shore to take down the current world champion. And he got there easily in the end, but didn't he do well? PJ Postma across the finish line to take one, to draw it up 2-all. Excellent job by PJ Postma, and it'll all come down to the 5th deciding race. Wow, unbelievable. So that race had a bit of everything. It had the pre-start trickery. It had penalties, and it was Postma that dropped back and then got the jibe on the first leg and got the lead. And man, just it could have gone either way. And it was the last leeward gate. It was still incredibly close, but Phil Robertson unfortunately hooking the mark with his windward dagger board.
Well, let's relive that, Scotty. We're going to start at the top mark where the game was close.
So this is Robertson around in the lead. No, Postma is red, so furling upwind. And this is the final bottom mark, and that's where he hooks it on the left of your screen. And you can just see the boys, and it was, what was it, 3 boat lengths was the lead there. And finally, across the finish, nice easy furl, and look at that backdrop. PJ Postma, he's always smiling, but that is a big reason to smile there. He's still in the hunt, still in the game.
Not only is he still in the game is now tied up at 2-all. We've got Phil Robertson live on the water. We may. We're going to see if we can go down to him and hear from the team that didn't win that match, but certainly had some entertaining issues happen during it. They're actually checking that board to make sure there wasn't any damage after they hit the mark, leeward mark. We just saw it in the replay. The team there just looking over the curved dagger board. Gives it a bit of lift.
Yep, Phil's team of Will Tiller, James Webowski, and Stu Dodson.
Well, let's hear from them. We're going to go down to Phil now. Phil Robertson, Tucker Thompson here. Can you hear us down on the water?
Yeah, got you, Tucker.
Well, listen, man, I know that wasn't the finish that you wanted, but I got to give you some credit at that leeward mark, where most people would have completely imploded. Your tone didn't even change at all. You stayed positive, even though you guys were hooked up around the leeward mark, and I admire the attitude.
Well, I guess we didn't have much else going for us there than a good attitude, but yeah, not an ideal race. Obviously had the lead and let it slip straight away, so yeah, we got some big things to do and some tactical decisions to make a bit more smarter, and so we're going to do this next one.
Yeah, hi Phil, Scotty here. So obviously PJ giving you a run for your money, and it's not just about winning the start, is it? It's about staying in touch with the shifts and or almost every interchange.
Yeah, it is. It's been a very favoured jibe set on the top mark and the reach mark, so that's sort of won in the last 2 races. He's just jibed inside us when it was obviously a jibe set, and that's our mistake, so we've got to do that a little bit better and be a bit sharper, but yeah, no, he's sailing well, so we've got to give him credit, and yeah, hopefully we can come off the line ahead this one as well and then make the right calls.
Well, you had your work cut out for you against Stephen Thomas. You came back to make it into the quarterfinals. We'll see if you can come back and win this match to move on to the semis. Phil Robertson, good luck.
Nice one. Cheers, boys.
Always positive, always relaxed.
always in a good mood, even when he's just lost a difficult match, what could have been an important match, because that would have sent Robertson on into the semifinals. And PJ Postma, you know, I put my money on him going into this. He then lost the first one. He then lost the second one. So, Scotty, now he's 1-2, and it's even. This is the moment of the day where I bet you another Russian vodka shot. I'll take PJ Postma. Who will you take?
Oh boy, well,
you got a 1 out of 1 chance.
Easy for me to back the Kiwi team, but I think it was PJ Postma that might have won me that shot of vodka yesterday, Tucker.
Yeah,
so
he did.
no, like you, I'm absolutely impressed with how he's sailing, and you know, I think if Postma can keep it relaxed, he's obviously handling the boats extremely well and the conditions, and if he can keep it relaxed, then yeah, he's got a good shot at it, and it's really you know, who's going to flinch first, who's going to make the mistake.
Well, I lost a shot of vodka to you yesterday, Scotty. We'll see if I can earn it back and even the score. But first, let's look at the stats from that last match.
Well, there we go. So Postma, -0.3. Well, yeah, as it would suggest, he was over the line, had to drop back. And, yeah, so Phil Robertson a couple of seconds back. But, yeah, distance sailed. Again, extremely similar numbers there. Average speed, quite a bit more speed to Postma. So, yeah, top speed, better to Postma as well. So, yeah, Postma sailing the boats incredibly well, but you know, Phil Robertson's won more events, more races in these boats than anybody else. But just what a great example of seamanship, and both teams.
I wonder how much of that average speed on Phil Robertson was affected by hooking the leeward mark and stopping in the middle of the race. That's got to pull him down a little bit. But still, PJ Postma earned that one and deserved it. Now we move into a fifth and deciding match to see who wins 3 races to move on into the semifinals. Will it be PJ Postma, who I put my money on, or Phil Robertson, who Scott Dixon has his money on, or I should say Russian vodka? We'll see which one of us gets the win, Scotty. I'm 1 down to you now. You were right yesterday. You got me. I like to back the underdog, though. I like to live dangerously, live on the edge.
Yeah, well, Postma, underdog or not, he's clearly enjoying his sailing. And like we said earlier, it seems to be that those that are enjoying themselves tend to get the good results as well. He's certainly taking it seriously enough and sailing well enough. But, yeah, just wonderful to see another team operating at the very top of the World Match Race Tour.
Just going to get an update from the race committee. Matthias Dahlstrom doing a great job running these races in difficult conditions. They couldn't anchor the marks about an hour ago. We were under postponement. We may be under postponement again, building up the tension for this final race, for the final spot in the semifinals here in Match Cup Russia. Once again, I'm Tucker Thompson, joined by Scott Dixon all the way from Long Beach, California, bringing you the play-by-play action here in St. Petersburg, Russia. The first time the World Tour event has ever been to Russia. First time we've ever been to St. Petersburg as well. So stay with us. We're just going to wait about a minute before we get into this pre-start of the final match. PJ Postma, Phil Robertson.
here, boys.
This is race committee getting ready for pair 2, race number 5. Robertson versus Postma. Team Robertson, are you ready to race? Over.
Yeah, race committee, we're ready.
Thank you. Team Postma, are you ready to race? Over.
I've got a big left shift here again now.
Race. Thank you. Stand by for sequence.
You'd have to take that toe away, right? Maybe not. Yeah. Gates, favour.
Take the toe away to everything can to get low and strong.
Yeah. So I'll probably end up doing a big bear away as soon as we help touch, just flopping, go. I reckon that, where's the boundary here? The side of the course, because I think left turn, it's out here. So boundary, you could go past the race committee boat. You'll probably end up going into it, I reckon.
Less than 1 to sequence.
Driving here. Shall we have a look at this reach and the down with the Jinnica? Does feel pretty right here, eh? Still. Thinks that's the thing, you get that little push off the beach there again, don't you?
Right.
30 to sequence.
30 seconds.
Counting down to the 4-minute signal.
Stand by. 2, 1, start.
4 minutes.
Are we ever? Right, weight forwards this one, boys. Let's sail this boat really well on the slide airs. Gonna be doing a few full jives and stuff in this start. Watching racks be all on. That's for sure.
15. 310.
I don't think we want to be too
Counting down to
high
the
up in the
3-minute
box,
signal in 3, 2, 1.
Now.
3 minutes.
Ladies and gentlemen around the world, welcome back to our live coverage of Match Cup Russia here in St. Petersburg. The 4th stop on the World Match Racing Tour. We're looking at Phil Robertson, not only the current world champion, but he's won every catamaran regatta on the tour this year. Has not been out of the semifinals yet overall, and he's up against PJ Postma, who's only made the semis once. Looking to better his score, and to do so, he'll have to beat the current world champion. Right now, the score is 2-all in a first-to-win-3 quarterfinal match. I'm Tucker Thompson, joined once again by Scott Dixon. And Scotty, here we go. The final match between these two heavyweights. Robertson entering the pre-start box to windward in the blue boat. Postman to leeward in red. 2 minutes, 10 seconds.
Well, we loved hearing Robertson's comments a few minutes ago, where he said, look, it's going to be all on, and pay attention, boys. We're going to have a few full jives and just be ready to go out at hammer and tongs.
He said it's going to be full on in this pre-start.
Yeah.
Aggression from the world champion, master match racer. Here we go, into the shoreline. Exclusion zone, Scotty, minute 45.
Full jive, boys,
so it's Robertson going for the jive. I thought maybe Postman might have prevented him from jiving there, but Robertson in blue, Postman to leeward in the red boat.
Ready for attack, boys. Bell's coming up.
So this is the maneuver that we see time and time again.
Attack
It's
and a jive. Phil,
the boat to windward.
Back it,
concedes early and then tacks around.
Go deploy.
So Postma gets his bow down
Go, someone.
inside.
Go, go. Someone will. You're gonna have
Did
to
I
get a
just
blue
hear
flag
something
up
about a
east.
blue
Don't
flag?
worry
I'm
about
not
it,
too
though.
sure.
Super important jibe here. Full jibe.
Super important jibe, says Phil Robertson. He puts his bow down. He gets down in front of PJ Postma. So now I'd expect to see Postma slow down, possibly furl.
Slow.
Slow is the call from Robertson. 50 seconds to go. Who's going to pull the trigger first? It's all about timing and acceleration. We've seen the windward boat be successful a number of times today. Bit of judge boat wake pushing the boats around. So now Postma puts his bow up.
37.
Robertson likes to be in this lead position. 33 seconds to go to the start.
Trim.
Both boats close. Postman to
Up you
windward.
go, son.
Robertson to leeward. Robertson with the luff.
So that Postma has to respond there, and anytime he responds, he's going to be slow. So Postma furling, tacking away, but I think Robertson's done all this absolutely by the book. He's just going to hang high.
Trouble for Postma. He's stopped in the water.
Go, boys.
Is he going to have enough steerage to get back onto starboard? I don't think so. Oh, that's disaster. And it's Phil Robertson, Jenica on, flying a hole off to the races, and Postma facing the wrong way. Just didn't have the speed, the steerage, the pressure to get away with that last maneuver.
Postma stuck in the water by the world champion Phil Robertson, who said they were going to be full on in the pre-start, and they were. They have closed the door on the Dutch team. Can PJ Postma catch back up as Phil Robertson leads at Mark 1?
Well, let's see what Postma's got up his sleeve here. We've certainly seen him sailing very fast, and again, the breeze is up and down, so there are definitely big holes in the racetrack, and we've seen some huge leads disappear today.
Well, there's a reason this team has not lost yet this year, and you're seeing why. Yet again, when the pressure's on, Robertson delivers.
Trying to lay here,
Now,
boys.
can he convert
Not going to happen.
for the win?
Want orange? Copy.
So, Scotty, let's go back to the start. Robertson is clear ahead here. We're going to go back and see how it went down for Postma.
So there it is, Postma on the right, and you can see Robertson coming up, and really Postma's fate was sealed from this moment. The second he had to respond, he rolled into attack, and Robertson just sat there, counting down the clock. So now Postma on port tack, but he never got going, so he never got the steerage he needed to get back onto starboard or even bear away and jibe around. And there you can see Robertson accelerating away. Job done. So approaching the leeward gate, it's Robertson setting up for a right-hand turn.
2, 1.
Masterful match racing for the match racing master.
I think this will be a fill, boys.
Phil
Ready
Robertson,
to go? 2,
backup win,
1.
in
Yeah, go,
control
Phil.
of this match, no question.
Ten to boundary. 5, 3. Backwind, got waves.
So one more jibe from Postma. Phil Robertson already at the boundary, so tacks onto port, and you can just see Postma does not have the pressure that we've seen previously on the course today.
The body language on board says it all.
That'll be a long way downwind, pushing the current. So Postma finally gets around on port tack. Jenica out. Only a couple of boat lengths to go to the boundary. He really needs something magical out of this corner to climb back into the match. That's Phil Robertson to windward on port, sailing fast.
And you heard him say quite a big left-hand shift. That helps. He's on port to the left of his opponent. And then sailing into the middle of the track into a righty in phase, setting up for the next tack where he will also be lifted.
Probably deployed out of the say. Yeah, 3, 2, 1.
So that was a great shot there, and you could just see Robertson and his team, their heads on a swivel, just studying the racetrack.
I'm happy going straight for puff here.
Another great shot of the backdrop that we're enjoying here.
Robertson with his bow down out of that tack in a bit of a Ricci mode. Just connecting with the next puff in these connect the dots conditions. Top mark. Jenniker already deployed. Hull coming up out of the water and boat speed lifting as well.
We are starboard here, aren't we? Is he in the zone? Potentially, eh? Bell's
So
coming
Phil
up
Robertson just asking some obvious questions. He just he's comfortable with his lead. He just wanted to make sure he didn't complicate any interaction with the other boat on a different leg of the course. Postma flying a hull upwind.
With both boards in, that seems to be Postma's MO.
Yeah. Oh,
So Postma approaching the windward gate. He's going for the right-hand turn. And again, just not that much pressure up the top of the course, but Robertson sailing strong, isn't he?
Half a length on this race course. And it all began at that start, and it all ended there as well.
Yeah, there just doesn't seem to be any passing lanes for Postma. No magic puffs, no magic elevator to jump in forward into a passing opportunity.
Super light here, lads. What's coming down the course?
Oh, that's Robertson light at the bottom of the course, pushing current.
If I can get down, I will. Yeah, I'm sort of starting to feel knocked now. Good puff there. Can I come down? Yeah.
Asking his
I want
crew
right
if he can
turn
come
here,
down in a light spot
All the puffs in on the wall, isn't it?
and lay into the bottom mark without having to jibe again. Light
Here's
at the bottom of the track.
Postma ripping downwind.
Yeah. Could this be Postma's opportunity in this light minefield of tricky
I think
conditions?
it is a fill. I'll just go round and then fill.
Wow, so you can see Robertson there pushing the current, but he's done what he needed to do. He got down around the bottom gate, and now he's with the current again. And it may not be obvious from looking at the camera, but when the breeze goes light, the current is an absolute killer.
3.
So that was
2, 1.
a sizable gain to Postma, but Robertson's still doing everything and in good shape.
See a little pep in the step on Postma's crew, perhaps sniffing a little bit of an opportunity. A bit of a rough mark rounding there, though, Scotty. Going through some powerboat wake as well from the umpire. That won't help.
Yeah, big left shift. You see Robertson on port going alongside the with the Winter Palace in the background. There's Postma furling. Yeah, so there's Robertson. He's just looking powered up. The team on the windward rack.
He likes that left-hand elevator. Always hooks into that on the beat.
Yeah, looking very comfortable there, isn't he?
So right turn to finish here, okay? Oh, definitely not. 2, 1, go deploy.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a shaky deploy there by Phil Robertson, but he's up and around the final mark. And there's the finish boat in the foreground, so he made it look easy in the end.
He certainly did. Phil Robertson had to win this match to move on into the semifinals, and he has. Going up 3-2 over PJ Postma, Phil Robertson and China One Ningbo team know that they are on into the semifinals of Match Cup Russia.
Yeah, well, you Lemons don't call the jive set, so make sure he's hit to win off the gun, eh?
Wow. It came down to that start, Scotty. He said it before we even got into the broadcast. We heard the audio. We're going to be full on in this pre-start, and that's where it all went down for Phil Robertson, laughing confidently, taking that win into the semifinals.
Let's beach this cat, eh?
I wonder if he's going to. Let's keep filming and see if he beaches the boat. Surprise, maybe he will. So in a moment, we're going to go live with Phil Robertson. Phil Robertson, Tucker Thompson here. All I've got to say, man, is great job. In a clincher, when the pressure was on, you guys delivered.
I guess there's nothing like a bit of pressure to bring the best out of you. So, no, we enjoy it. We like it. I guess our goal this event right now has been to maximise the races, and I guess it's also pretty nice having some tough ones before your next round. So, no easy matches here, Tucker.
Nice job in the start there, Phil. You hooked him with a fair bit of time to go, but it seemed like the breeze shut off, really eliminating his options.
Yeah, we did. We got a pretty nice hook on him. I guess that's probably PJ's weakness, coming from a fleet racing background. It's probably his pre-starts, and yeah, we managed to be quite aggressive and win that last start convincingly, which was definitely a helping hand.
Well, congratulations, Phil. You made it look easy in the end, and well done making the Final Four.
Nice. Cheers, guys.
Well done. Phil Robertson and the China One Ningbo crew. That is a name that we keep hearing in every single regatta. Let's take a look at the results so far. We went into today in the quarterfinals with 8 teams. We are now down to your top 4. Semifinalists, Sam Gilmore will face Matt Jerwood tomorrow. Ian Williams up against Phil Robertson, 2 match racing world champions, 2 heavyweights. The winner of both of those matches will go on to the finals of Match Cup Russia here in St. Petersburg. What an exciting day it has been. What an exciting week. We've seen a little bit of everything. We've seen big breeze and almost none. We've seen pouring down rain and sunshine. We've seen the history of St. Petersburg, and we've seen match racing history made here on the World Match Racing Tour for this 4th event on the 2017 season. I'm Tucker Thompson along with Scott Dixon. Join us tomorrow on Facebook and live on WMRT from 2 p.m. local time here in Russia. We'll see you then.